The story begins with a prison guard holding a lantern as Vanessa and Kinemia Leon quietly follow behind. The guard wonders, "Miss, are you really going to meet him?" She coldly replies, "Yes." Hearing this, the prison guard anxiously advises, wanting to stop her, but he is not someone the miss should be meeting directly. This is an unidentified person who trespassed into the aerial hunting grounds. Even when discovered, he hesitates. He recalls the image of a young boy covered in blood, his entire body stained with the blood of others. The soldiers surround Ian Krotz. Some are curious, "What is this, a child?" They warn, "Hey, you there, this is Duke Leon's private land." They threaten, "If you do not want to be arrested for trespassing, leave now." Ian Krotz indifferently tilts his head. "I thought I had killed them all." So there were still some left. He is slightly surprised. A guard is bewildered. "Wait, that kid." He sees the bloody patches on Ian's clothes and seems to realize something unusual. He does not seem like a normal child. The prison guard feels uneasy. If he had not suddenly collapsed, I do not know what would have happened next. He reminds Kinemia Leon, "There is something about that kid that makes me uneasy." Kinemia smiles gently, a smile as bright as flowers. She replies to the prison guard, "It is all right, I have a plan. Just lead the way." The prison guard obeys, "Yes, miss." Kinemia is polite, "Thank you." Her radiant beauty leaves the prison guard and Vanessa stunned. They both share the same thought, "We are the ones who should be thankful. Our miss is the best." The prison guard happily follows behind. He reminds Kinemia Leon, "Watch your step, miss." He suggests, "Shall I carry you, miss?" She quickly declines, "No, no need." Vanessa, walking beside Kinemia, offers her hand. "Then walk with me, hold my hand, miss." She agrees, "Yes, okay." Kinemia Leon lowers her eyes slightly, feeling apologetic in her heart. "Sorry for being stubborn, but I must meet him. There is a reason for everything here," she muses. "I have a secret I can't tell anyone." Kinemia explains the reasons for her secret. First, I was reborn as Kinemia Leon. Second, this world is the setting of the novel, The Chronicles of Aldium, that I read in my previous life. She is apprehensive about the final reason. And third, Kinemia Leon, the person I transmigrated into, is destined to die not long after. I realized this truth not long after my father passed away. Kinemia Leon sits on the large luxurious bed of a noble, thinking to herself, "That dream just now was a memory from my past life." Kinemia is shocked to realize, so this is the world in the novel, and a cliché, boring novel to the core. She reassures herself, "No, now is not the time to think about that." She complains, "Why did I have to be reborn as this character?" Interrupting her thoughts, Vanessa exclaims excitedly, praising Kinemia Leon, "Oh my, miss, you woke up on your own today. That is amazing." The notorious Villainess, Kinemia Leon. Her tragedy begins with a family steeped in hatred. Kinemia's grandfather, Kenneth Leon. He frowns irritably, glaring, "Tell me to restrain myself. I am cleaning up the trash you guys have scattered all over the empire, and now you want me to speak softly." Kenneth Leon, known as the righteous thug, yells, "This trash dares to call themselves nobles. Prepare to die and atone for your sins, and do not forget to pay the ransom." He also possesses a hellish mouth. Kenneth purged countless corrupt nobles, but in the end he was poisoned, another life lost to hatred. Kinemia's mother, Iria Leon, has the title Hero of the Empire. Iria possesses exceptional swordsmanship, conquering neighboring kingdoms one after another. But on a victorious day like any other, she was assassinated. A man fiercely raises the bow that was used to assassinate Iria, yelling while being held by the guards, "Enemy of the country, die, another life lost to hatred." And finally, Kinemia's father, Troy Leon. The beautiful man cries his heart out, "My dear, if you leave your father and me behind, then we." Troy Leon is lost in despair. His outstanding feature is his stunning beauty. Troy relies on his lineage and God-given face to sit in the Duke's position, plus a wife buff effect. To revive the family and protect his daughter, he decides to start a business. Troy gives a standard smile, sitting as the host of the ladies' tea party, gently suggesting, "Ladies, would you like to invest in my project?" This makes the ladies roll their eyes, thinking to themselves, "How ridiculous." He dejectedly touches his chin, showing off all his beauty. "Is it not possible?" The ladies can't resist and quickly reply, "Yes, I will invest." Thanks to the capital attracted by his appearance, Troy succeeds in the business world, and then a few years later he is murdered. A crazed woman waves a knife in her hand, yelling, "He stole my heart with that angelic face." And then what? "You were not going to seduce me, you sly fox." Troy weakens in the arms of a servant, another life lost to hatred. After losing everything, the Leon family's Villainess, who inherited her grandfather's brutality, her mother's bellicosity, and her father's beauty, Kinemia is surrounded by malicious rumors. She tries to explain, brutal I am not. I learned swordsmanship but I have never hurt anyone. What is wrong with being like my father? But no one is willing to stand by her side. No matter what she does, people still look at her with malice. Gradually, Kinemia also becomes twisted, growing into a cruel lord just as the rumors say. She was executed on the guillotine. Oh dear. Kinemia dejectedly learns of her tragic end. Kinemia sits silently on the chair, pondering for a while. An end of death by hatred. I do not want to die. Vanessa can't bear to see her so downcast and softly calls Miss. She takes out a teddy bear and smiles, showing it to her. Tada, a gift. This is an item from a faraway country. But when I saw it, I immediately thought of the Miss. The rosy cheeks look so cute, do not they? She whispers Vanessa, then accepts the gift, feeling touched. She noticed that I have not been in a good mood lately, so she is caring for me like this. Kinemia softly says, I like this doll, thank you Vanessa. She gently reaches out to pat her head. I am glad you like it, Miss. She looks at the teddy bear in her hand and suddenly utters strange words. Hey, it looks like a monster, making Vanessa curious. Huh, what kind of monster, Miss? She does not answer, only intently observes the teddy bear in her hand, much to Vanessa's anticipation. Realizing something, Kinemia stops in shock. I remember now. Finally, she remembers, a hit product from my past life. The male lead luckily obtained a Munchkin monster early on, and that monster helped him achieve glory and success. Munchkins are characters or creatures with absurd power in the normal world. She imagines the prospect of being able to order the Munchkin monster. Go monster, this is Kinemia's personal thought. From the moment she caught a glimmer of hope, Kinemia buried herself in books. Let us compile the important information about this world that I remember from the original work. If I can use them to subdue the Munchkins before the male lead, I will have a chance to turn the tables. She seriously makes plans to pave the way for a new future for herself. People like Ian, those who have grudges against me, must be removed from the list first. Ian Krotz, a candidate for the position of Master of the Magic Tower, a mysterious figure who always appears when the male lead is in danger. Kinemia is a little helpless with a story in the original work, the earliest one I can meet among the remaining Munchkins, so it is really attractive but also the most dangerous. Because in the novel, he helped the male lead put me on the guillotine. Ian, hatred. Danger level 10 out of 10. After that, she is taken to Duke's castle by Vanessa. Kinemia calculates in her head, I do not plan to greedily rush into gambling. I will pass on the characters who seem dangerous for the sake of my health. She recalls the main plot. In the original work, Kinemia captured Ian, who was imprisoned in Duke's castle, and treated him like a toy. She makes up her mind, but this time I will treat him a little kinder, cleverly let him go so that no hatred is formed. Going down to the prison cell, the prison guard slowly opens the door, respectfully reporting to Kinemia Leon, we are here, miss. Stepping into the dark prison cell, Kinemia Leon sees Ian Krotz sitting curled up, hugging his knees on a wooden plank hanging on the wall. Ian Krotz dejectedly bows his head, wearily speaking to Kinemia Leon, who has just entered. The greeting of the Leon family is, the Leon citizen greets the wings of Leon. Is it not? Duchess, miss. Kinemia Leon irritably twists back, Duke is Duke. Miss is miss, what is Duchess, miss? Ian Krotz then explains, just trying to please you. She frankly refuses his kindness, gently instructing, no need. Hearing her words, Ian Krotz still bows his head, hesitantly asking, are you going to kill me right here? Duchess miss is so heartless. But what responds to him is Kinemia Leon's resolute denial, no. Then, she turns to order the prison guard, release him. This order from Kinemia Leon makes the prison guard surprised to ask again, yes, you said release him. Although ordered to be released, Ian Krotz is still not happy, even asking Kinemia Leon in return. Are you going to release me to then hunt me like a game? Kinemia Leon grimaces, indifferently asking back, what kind of person do you think I am? She gently lowers her head, her voice slowly whispering, I do not have the guts to kill Rikosha, that is all. The prison guard, hearing the name from Kinemia Leon's mouth, is shocked, anxiously asking her repeatedly, what, Rikosha, isn't that the second in command of the magic tower? Miss, how do you know about this? Ian Krotz remains silent, looking up at her without saying anything. After a while, he gapes in a daze, softly asking Kinemia Leon, how do you know I am Rikosha? But she only vaguely answers, that is not important. After ordering Ian Krotz to be released, Kinemia Leon also leaves the door, instructing him, don't get caught again, Rikosha. Coming outside, she happily smiles, cheering, that is it, completely ending the relationship with Ian, getting rid of a grudge. My heart feels so much lighter. A few days later, Kinemia Leon is speechless, standing still in the dark prison cell. Ian Krotz continues to sit in the prison cell again, even happily smiling and greeting Kinemia Leon hello. Seeing this scene, Kinemia Leon can't help but question life, yelling, why are you here? Ian Krotz rests his head on his knees, whining, I got caught again. Again on another day in the prison cell, the prison guard is kindly offering Ian Krotz a piece of exquisite cake. Kid, do you want this even while being imprisoned? Ian Krotz still opens his mouth to demand. Is there anything else? The cake yesterday was delicious. The prison guard also kindly explains to him, that is a cake that is only available on Wednesdays. Hearing this, Ian Krotz also has to reach out to receive the cake, still complaining a few words, is that so? Then I am really looking forward to next Wednesday. The two of them are so leisurely, while Kinemia Leon, witnessing everything, excitedly yells, wait. She is angry to the point of madness, gritting her teeth and yelling, you are going to get caught again next week. How many times is this? Kinemia Leon recalls the scene of her often asking him. Got caught again. Each time, Ian Krotz indifferently replied again, and that scene has been repeated 7 times, until this time, Ian Krotz still indifferently justifies. But the cake is delicious. At this point, Kinemia Leon has to helplessly sigh, wearily asking Ian Krotz, do you have any grudges against me or any hatred? But Ian Krotz is both happily chewing on the cake and nonchalantly asking her in return, hatred, have we met before? Kinemia Leon stands with her arms crossed, hesitantly answering, how could that be? Ian Krotz also agrees, confirming, so we have not met, huh? The conversation returns to the original focus. Kinemia Leon again raises her voice and yells, but why do you keep getting caught? Ian Krotz still casually asks her, miss, I heard you are recruiting guards. The guard here said so. Kinemia Leon, after hearing this, is furious, her eyes accusingly staring at the prison guard as if wanting to pierce through him. She thinks to herself, you told him that. The prison guard, receiving this terrifying gaze from her, can't help but tremble, admitting his mistake, ahem, sorry miss. At this time, Ian Krotz again casually speaks. I'm going to apply to be a guard. Ian Krotz places his hand on his chest, smiling to inform Kinemia Leon of his intention. Kinemia Leon, hearing this, spouts a bunch of reasons in an attempt to crush that idea of his. You are Rikasha, the work at the magic tower must be very busy. How can you be a guard? Ian Krotz still smiles, arrogantly replying, it is not very busy because I am too talented. Kinemia Leon again angrily clenches her fist, finding another excuse to scare Ian Krotz. Guards have limited time off and have to follow me all day, it is very tiring. But he even excitedly cheers, wow, sounds great. Then Ian Krotz even threatens her in return, if you do not let me do it, I will just keep getting caught, do not worry, hee. These words of his make Kinemia Leon stunned, very surprised, asking herself in her heart, why is this guy always like this, what is he planning? Not seeming to want to give up, Ian Krotz still smiles, his eyes curving, looking both gentle and harmless, facing her. Seeing that she can't extinguish Ian Krotz's intention to be a guard, Kinemia Leon dejectedly, worriedly thinks in her head, it is really difficult, what if I chase him away and then end up making an enemy? Finally, Kinemia Leon has to compromise, I have to endure it. Then Kinemia Leon hurriedly adds a condition, only until your wounds heal, but just this agreement from Kinemia Leon makes Ian Krotz cheer with a long cry, wah. Kinemia Leon can't do anything else, she can only silently say in her heart, just keep him by my side to monitor him for now, and chase him away after his wounds heal. In her head, she secretly affirms with certainty, it must be so. Not long after that, Ian Krotz, having been accepted as Kinemia Leon's guard, followed her back to the castle under the astonished gazes of the two maids. The maids, seeing Ian Krotz leisurely walking behind Kinemia Leon, leaned in to whisper to each other, is that him, the Mrs. New Guard? One maid, slightly blushing, looks at their backs, mechanically replying, yeah, I heard he is Rikasha, his tongue is really sharp. These words of hers make the maid standing on the right surprised, exclaiming, what, so young and already a candidate for Master the Magic Tower? The two of them begin to improvise, gossiping with each other, that is right. He recently trespassed into the territory and was imprisoned, but the miss recognized him as Rikasha and immediately released him, so he was so moved that he volunteered to be the Mrs. Guard. After a long period of chatting with each other, the two maids can't help but admire Kinemia Leon, using a Rikasha as a guard, that is our miss. They look at Kinemia Leon's carefree, confident appearance again and again praising, and that steadiness despite all the malicious rumors, truly the daughter of the Duchess, so imposing. Kinemia Leon, hearing these whispers, has long despaired, complaining in her heart, "Where do these nonsense rumors come from?" At this time, suddenly there is a sound of a maid respectfully calling Kinemia Leon Miss. A maid quickly steps forward to give a bag of cakes to Ian Krotz, carefully instructing them. "You are on your way to the meeting room, right? These are cookies that I baked for you too. Have a little sugar before you go." Kinemia Leon raises her head to look at her, obediently smiling and saying, thank you, I will eat them really well." The maid, having delivered the cakes, also takes her leave. "Well then, I will take my leave first." Kinemia Leon politely smiles, waving goodbye to her. "Yeah, see you later." Ian Krotz, holding the cakes standing beside her, is silently looking down at the bag of cakes he just received. Then, Kinemia Leon has to gape in shock as she sees him throwing that bag of cakes straight out the window. Kinemia Leon is surprised, softly exclaiming, What is it?" Ian Krotz calmly replies tersely, "I do not like eating them much." She looks at him annoyed, her voice full of reproach. "If you do not want to eat them, just say so. People have worked hard to prepare them for you." Ian Krotz tilts his head and gently looks at her. "So what?" Kinemia Leon's face shows a clear expression of shock. She thinks to herself, a true sociopath. Sociopath is antisocial disorder. The translator kept the name of the disease because it is different from mental illness. Kinemia Leon walks ahead of Ian Krotz. A feeling of unease creeps into her. This guy really is not normal, too dangerous. She speaks to break the silence. "Okay, let us go to the meeting first, or we will be late." At this time a notification appears. Ian, hatred. Danger level 10+++ out of 10, note a sociopath. In the meeting room the atmosphere is somber. The man wearing a blue shirt, sitting on the left, seriously says, "Perhaps it is time to prepare." The woman opposite him suspiciously asks, "What are you talking about?" He slams his hand on the table, gritting his teeth as he replies, "That title, the position of Grand Duke, is still vacant. Could it be that the Miss will forever be in the position of Duchess?" The woman opposite him has a dissatisfied expression. She says loudly, "His Majesty has not yet approved. What can we do? Furthermore, receiving the title will also increase responsibility. That could be a burden for a young miss." Suddenly, a voice rings out, attracting the attention of the two people. "I do not agree with that view." The person continues, "The Duchess is so intelligent that she can remember everything after hearing it once. We cannot underestimate her just because of her age. I will do what the Duchess wants." The sound of discussion continues to ring out. This matter cannot be decided just by discussing it back and forth. The position of the Leon family in the empire has also weakened a lot. At this time, the door of the meeting room gently opens. Everyone in the room pays attention, looking towards the door. A loud voice announces, "The Duchess has arrived." Kinemia Leon and Ian Krotz step inside. A woman in the room is surprised, thinking to herself, "Is that the Rikasha from the rumors?" She hesitates. The Miss did not bring her nanny like usual, but brought Rikasha along. Kinemia Leon gently glances around. She softly speaks, "Everyone has arrived, right?" Ian Krotz beside her looks at her silently. Standing in the room, a strange feeling creeps into her. Why does the atmosphere today seem different? She thinks, "That Majesty." Kinemia Leon is immersed in her own thoughts. It seems that she has realized her position and responsibility as the head of the Leon family. After so many events, the number of retainers can be counted on one hand. Before now, all decisions were left to the retainers. But she clenches her fist, trying to reassure herself. "Now that I have my own plans, I can't continue to act like a child forever." Everyone in the room looks at her in surprise. This is the time to show the dignified demeanor of a master. She stands there silent for a long time. Kinemia Leon quietly whispers, "Chair." Standing beside the dignified, towering chair, she looks so small. Looking at the chair in front of her, she worries, too high. Realizing that Kinemia Leon is a little hesitant with her seat, a person in the room is about to stand up. She hurriedly says, "Duchess, let me help," but the person beside her stops her. He hurriedly calls out, "Shoo, today the Duchess did not go with Vanessa, but chose to accompany Rikasha, and has a completely different attitude than usual. What do you think that is for?" The sound of whispers below has not ended, because now, as the rightful master of the Leon family, she wants to prove that she can do things like this herself. Kinemia Leon stands there, her expression tense. "I can hear everything." But she cheers herself on. "That is right, Vanessa always helped me sit in the chair before, but from now on I have to do it myself. If I still whine for help just because of a chair, then I do not deserve to be the Duchess." This thought has added motivation to her. Kinemia Leon places both hands firmly on the chair. She puts all her strength into jumping up, her eyes expectant. At the same time she cheers herself on, "Go forward." Everyone below watches anxiously. They cheer together. Ooh, go Duchess. Almost her whole body is on the chair. She breathes a sigh of relief, all right. But the pillow on it betrays her. It slips down. Her whole body also slides down with it. She is slightly startled, She sits on the ground with the pillow. Everyone looks at her. A silent atmosphere envelopes the room. All are still silently watching, stunned by the event that just happened. Kinemia Leon sits on the ground, embarrassedly almost crying. The people below turn away, pretending that nothing has happened. They pretend to be paying attention to other things. We did not see anything, Duchess. That is right, I am just looking out the window. The Duke's castle looks beautiful today. Hearing this, she is a little surprised, asking, really? At this time, Ian Krotz comes over and gently helps her up. Then he lifts her up. Kinemia Leon is surprised, turning her head to look at him. He gently sets her safely on the seat. Facing her surprised look, he coldly says, I thought you could not climb up on your own. The retainers below speak out in discontent. Humph. The Duchess can completely sit on the chair herself. That is right, it is just that her legs are a little short. A man among them angrily speaks out. The Duchess is a fairy. She may be a little smaller than her peers now, but later when she sheds her skin, she will be taller than others. At the same time, he imagines what the Duchess would look like when she sheds her skin and becomes a young girl. Someone objects, no matter how cute the Duchess is. Do not say such things indiscriminately. What fairy? Hearing this, he immediately explains. The wings of a fairy can only be seen by those with a pure soul, so you can't see them. The other person angrily questions, wait, are you saying that I do not have a pure soul? Ian Krotz and Kinemia Leon only know to silently watch the people argue with each other. The quarrel continues, that is right, if the fairy wings do not appear, it proves that your soul has already darkened. Kinemia helplessly thinks to herself, enough. The more you talk, the more embarrassing it becomes. Finally, unable to bear it anymore, she speaks out, please stop. The town scene in the morning is very peaceful and relaxing, very worthy of watching and enjoying. The stalls are bustling with buyers. The atmosphere is becoming more and more lively and vibrant. Kinemia Leon and Ian Krotz step down from the carriage. Kinemia Leon looks around at everything. She exclaims with interest, wow, it really is market day, so crowded. The two turn to say goodbye to the driver. Kinemia Leon speaks, then we are going. The driver replies, yes miss, we will wait here, please be careful. Entering the market, seeing Kinemia Leon turning back and forth looking for something, Ian Krotz curiously asks, so what exactly are you looking for? Kinemia Leon replies, a shop with a frog-shaped sign. The blacksmiths that I have my eye on are all gathered there. Ian Krotz is surprised, blacksmiths, are they the artisans that you mentioned in yesterday's meeting? She replies concisely, yes. Replaying the previous meeting, Kinemia Leon, sitting on the chair, announces, this time I want to use the materials taken from sea monsters to make slime toys. Someone wonders, slime toys? Kinemia Leon explains, yes, when you touch it, it is soft and squishy, very fun to squeeze, the children in the territory will probably like it. She hastily adds, I already know a skilled craftsman who can make this. Is that not okay? Applause rings throughout the room. Everyone's eyes are filled with tears of emotion, they choke up. The Duchess has already started thinking about business from now on. That is really amazing, she really is the overlord of the slime world. A voice exclaims, overlord. Returning to reality, Ian Krotz teases, you mean the craftsman will help this miss become the overlord of the slime world? Kinemia Leon says embarrassedly, don't tease me, Ian. But unlike her plan, she thinks, what I really want to order is not slime. Ian Krotz continues to ask, but does the miss necessarily have to go find them herself? You have a lot of subordinates who can do it. But she only coldly says, I already have a plan. She instructs Ian Krotz, so if you see a frog-shaped sign, let me know. Ian Krotz looks at her puzzled, Kinemia Leon continues to search, she is confused. Where is it? If my memory is correct, it is still on this street. She squeezes into the crowd in front, constantly saying, excuse me, please let me pass. She softly sighs, there are too many people, it is really difficult to walk back and forth. She thinks, I have to be careful not to get lost again. Then she turns back to find Ian Krotz. She worriedly asks, Ian, are you still keeping up? Looking back, she does not see Ian Krotz's figure anywhere. She is bewildered, standing frozen in place. Kinemia frantically thinks, he disappeared. He is gone somewhere in the blink of an eye. She hurriedly searches around, at the same time calling out loudly, Ian, where are you, Ian? Kinemia Leon looks around blankly. Behind her there is a call, little one, are you looking for someone you are with? The fat man smiles friendly, pointing to direct, if it is a black-haired boy, I saw him go that way. She confusedly only replies, ah. Kinemia Leon is bumped into by the rushing crowd, suddenly remembering to express gratitude. Thank you for letting me know. He reminds, oh, be careful. The man happily goes ahead to lead the way, smiling and saying, there are so many people, let me clear the way for you. This road only has one way, just go straight and you will find the person. She dejectedly, listlessly replies, thank you. The city is bustling and crowded. The tall buildings are close together. Kinemia Leon silently follows behind him to a deserted street. Reaching the dead end in front of her, she realizes the danger, suspiciously, Kinemia Leon still follows the man in front of her, extremely confused in her heart, questioning, isn't this place too deserted? She keenly realizes, telling herself something feels wrong, just go. Outwardly smiling, embarrassedly speaking to run away. Uncle, I will take my leave first, I seem to have left something on the street. His large hand grabs Kinemia Leon's small arm, not letting her go. The man's expression gradually changes, becoming perverted and distorted. He threatens in a low voice, where are you going? Kinemia Leon opens her eyes wide, shocked to recognize the kidnapper in front of her, fear mixed with surprise. She struggles, shaking off his hand, shouting, let me go. He rubs his hand, sneering, oh, this little girl is so small but so strong. Kinemia Leon stands some distance away from him, puzzled, She takes a defensive stance, holding a piece of wood in her hand, sternly warning, stay away. One more step and I will hit you. The kidnapper is not afraid, but scratches his head, smiling happily, cheerfully exclaiming, oh my, so cute. He sneers, teasing, what is that broom for? Do you want to sweep this whole alley? Kinemia Leon, while taking a defensive stance, thinks this is bad. Her hand tightens on the broom handle, worriedly thinking, I was so distracted by Ian's matter that I lost my guard, and actually naively followed the human traffickers like this. If I act like a lost child, it will be even more dangerous. The kidnapper steps closer, speaking to soothe, calm down, little one, be careful not to hurt your hand. I am an educated person after all. I do not want to use violence against children. Kinemia Leon decisively, shut up. Her blue eyes, like jade, are cold and sharp like an assassin on a mission. She says in a low voice, I told you to stay away. The kidnapper smiles smugly, amused, this sassy little brat. He looks at Kinemia Leon with a perverted gaze like a hunting beast, coldly speaking, an oppressive aura, I have to teach you how to speak properly. She tensely tries to stand firm, not changing her expression, silently cursing in her heart, Ian Krotz, you idiot. The city is beautiful, the birds are flying, but behind that peaceful appearance, Kinemia Leon is secretly resentful. He begged to be my guard so much, but what the hell is he doing now? The bird seems to realize something, it observes more carefully. That bird can talk, scolding, Ian, you bastard. Ian Krotz also realizes, raising his head to look. It angrily scolds, only contacting me when you need me, so you were here. He sits on the roof of the church indifferently, certainly in his heart, I knew you would come. Ian Krotz looks down and smiles slightly, just in time for you to come, look over there. The bird is curious, perching on his shoulder, Below is she standing face to face with the kidnapper, it intelligently recognizes, is that girl the research subject you talked about, and someone who does not have magic but still recognizes you? He replies, yes. The bird is suspicious, I can't feel any magic at all, or have you met the kid somewhere and said it out of forgetfulness? Ian Krotz self-satisfiedly rebuts. Would I make such a mistake? It is awkward, stammering, well then, it is true that is nothing like you. Looking back at Kinemia Leon's situation, the bird is dubious, but hey, that kid seems to be in danger, right? He is indifferent, yes, it looks dangerous, Ian Krotz indifferently, I also suspect that she is hiding magic, but it is so interesting that she is still using swordsmanship with a broom in this situation. Is not it? Pleasantly in his heart, it is really interesting. Hearing this, the bird is also shocked. It angrily yells, you idiot, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and save her. He slowly, chill, alright, I know. During the tense moment, she recognizes familiar footsteps approaching. Ian Krotz, like a prince walking out of a painting, reassures, I have come to save you, miss. Kinemia Leon is stunned, her eyes not believing what she is seeing. She resentfully scolds, Ian, where have you been? He only smiles apologetically, lightly confessing, sorry. Ian Krotz snaps his fingers once. The kidnapper gapes, painfully yelling, arg. He hugs his neck laboriously, unable to speak, only able to think, I can't breathe. He coldly stands with his eyes wide open. Kinemia Leon is extremely surprised by this scene. The kidnapper kneels down, painfully hugging his neck, saliva dribbling out. Kinemia opens her blue eyes wide, her gaze fixed on following Ian's every move. Ian, stop. Kinemia's voice trembles as she continues, if you keep doing this, he is going to die. He bows his head to the ground. No one can clearly see Ian's emotions, only his dark hair gently sways with each breath. Suddenly, a smile gently appears on his lips, a smile that makes others who see it feel a chill down their spines. Ian asks, weren't you going to kill him? His unexpected words make Kinemia stop. Confusion and incomprehension are clearly visible on her face. Kinemia's voice of stopping rings out, no, stop, Ian. Ignoring her words, he continues to punish him. Ian does not seem to understand why Kinemia is stopping him, why this kind of person deserves to die. He is still writhing, his face pale, struggling in vain. His chest tightens, each breath becomes difficult, congested. I can't breathe. Seeing that he is almost finished, she yells, that is different from murder, I told you to stop. Anger erupts in his mind, this insolent brat. That hateful thought screams in his head, if I catch you, I will kill you right away. As if sensing something, both Kinemia and he simultaneously turn around, their eyes towards the struggling man. A loud noise suddenly rings out, shattering the silence. The entire flock of birds perched on the gray-tiled roofs simultaneously flap their wings and fly into the sky. All of his movements stop. His body stiffens, no longer struggling or making any sound. As quickly as a leaf falling from a branch in a strong wind, his body collapses to the floor. A voice rings out, hey kid. At the same time, someone approaches. She and Ian turn their heads, their eyes towards the person who just called them. The people who came are the Behemoth sisters. Lana sees them both and asks, are you two okay? Both sisters do not know what happened to him. Sayer approaches Kinemia, seriously instructing, the market day often has suspicious people, remember to go with an adult next time. She quickly says, thank you sister. Just thinking about what was about to happen, she breathes a sigh of relief. Thank goodness, I almost killed someone for real. Lana easily lifts his motionless body onto her shoulder, saying, I will hand this guy over to the guards. On this side, Sayer asks her, where are you two planning to go? I will take you there. Kinemia looks up at her, sincerity clearly visible on her still slightly confused face. She softly replies, we are looking for a weapon shop with a frog-shaped sign. Do you know where it is? Sayer exclaims, frog-shaped sign. Her eyes slightly flicker, saying, that is our shop. A rustic but sturdy smithy, nestled amidst the green trees, the gray stone walls dotted with small windows, emitting a warm golden light. The porch in front is cluttered with smithing tools. Right in front of the smithy hangs a wooden sign. On the rustic wooden background is engraved an image of a stylized frog. The Behemoth sisters enthusiastically invite Kinemia and Ian inside the smithy. Inside, come in. There are no customers, just relax. Kinemia thinks as she walks, I did not expect to meet the Behemoth sisters this way. Ian turns to ask her, are these the skilled artisans who make slime toys? Kinemia hesitates slightly to answer, yes. Kinemia Leon's eyes widen as she glances at the elaborately crafted equipment, unable to help but admire. Just like what I remember in the original work, their skills are really top-notch. Shiny weapons such as armor, battle axes, and shields are displayed all over the tables and on the ground. A moment of confusion appears when she looks to the side, but, in addition to the weapons on sale, the stall also has signs announcing big discounts, clearance sales with buy 2 get 3 free 70% off. It seems like business is not very good. Seeing the customer's embarrassment, Lana Behemoth smiles awkwardly. This shop is so peaceful. Ian Krotz speaks bluntly to the point of hurt, very deserted and desolate. Kinemia instinctively covers his mouth, hurriedly correcting, no, the weapons on sale here are all very amazing. Hearing this, Lana runs over to hold her shoulders tightly, a look of surprise clearly visible on her face. Little one, so tiny, cute, and adorable, but also knows how to look at weapons. Sayer gently strokes her head, praising, really smart and clever. Lana is very happy to see others recognize the talent of her and her sister in crafting weapons, even if the other party is just a little girl. She laughs heartily. Tell me what you need, I will give you a few more things, but she calmly refuses, no need. Kinemia's next words cause the pair of sisters to freeze in place. She firmly asserts, I will buy everything here, and I want to place a custom order too. For the first time, Sayer meets a customer who is so willing to spend, and the other party is a little girl. She can't help but be confused, As if anticipating that somewhat suspicious attitude, she changes to a serious tone, slowly introducing, let me introduce myself formally. Her hand placed in front of her chest, her eyes not wavering, she reveals her true identity to the two sisters. I am Kinemia Leon. The next second, she states the purpose of her visit here. As the head of the Leon family, I want to discuss business. Hearing this, both Sayer and Lana widen their eyes in surprise. Their mouths temporarily stiffen. They did not expect the little girl who only comes up to their waist in front of them to be such a big character. Takes a long time before they exclaim, Leon. Like a true merchant, the two sisters regain their composure and immediately take the distinguished guest to another room to discuss. This place seems to be where they research to make new weapons. With a table cluttered with items related to the job, such as candles, hourglasses, and thick stacks of books. A hand gently placed on Kanemia's small shoulder. In front of her are all kinds of delicious-looking pastries and a pot of hot tea, steaming with fragrant smoke. Lana opens her mouth so. Sitting upright on the comfortable sofa, behind her is Lana working hard to massage her, taking the opportunity to spout sweet invitations like a stream of honey. What does this miss want to order? Sayer sits beside her, thoughtfully bringing cakes to her mouth. Kanemia can't help but admire herself, so this is the taste of power. Her small face flushes slightly, feeling a little embarrassed by the extremely enthusiastic attitude of the two sisters. She slowly tastes a piece of chocolate cookie, silently counting the information she knows about them. The Benemoth sisters. Lana and Sayer are still immersed in the joy of signing a huge deal. Kanemia retrieves the memories describing this pair of sisters, the best blacksmiths who have made weapons for the main character. In the original, they are the talents that Leon needs right now. According to her memory, actually, the weapons common in this world have a very big weakness. That is, when they come into contact with the blood of magical creatures, they will be corroded. She thinks it over. Therefore, weapons used to fight magical creatures need to be replaced periodically. The problem is that each time you change weapons, it costs a lot. Kanemia is extremely worried about the financial investment for the combat process, although I can still hold on thanks to the assets left by my father, if I do not find a solution. Sooner or later I won't be able to bear the cost anymore. Finally she draws the conclusion, so, a new type of weapon that is not corroded by monster venom is a must. According to the original, to create weapons against magical creatures, you need blacksmiths who know how to handle them, and to handle monsters that blacksmith must know how to use magic. They are the people in front of me at this moment, Behemoth. Kanemia puts down the teacup. I did not just come here to place a single order. Kanemia calmly. Leon wants to sign an exclusive contract with Behemoth. Sayer and Lana are stunned. Exclusive contract, what? Kanemia slowly says, yes, I hope the two of you will join Leon and create the tools we need. Sayer and Lana turn to whisper to each other with a volume that is not considered small. No contract, slave, do they want to tie us up there and have no way out? Kanemia is speechless. I can hear everything. Lana suspiciously whispers, but Sayer, such a small, cute and adorable girl, is it necessary to scam us? Sayer deeply glances at Kanemia. Don't judge by appearance. Lana. Kanemia announces again, I can hear everything. Kanemia thoughtfully thinks, in this era, even the retainers do not know about the concept of using magical creatures and magic as raw materials, so I must pull them over to my side. She seriously states the need. I want to create a sword that can resist magical creatures. Kanemia requests in detail. Not a sword that has to be discarded after each battle with magical creatures, but a durable sword that can be used for a long time. These words arouse Sayer's interest. She looks straight at Kanemia, hesitating slightly. The miss said is. Sayer clarifies the request that she just heard. The miss wants a sword that is not corroded by the blood of magical creatures. Kanemia easily replies, yes, a special weapon that has never existed in this world. Ian silently crosses his arms and leans against the wall, listening to this information that seems to be impossible. She continues to make additional requests, and I want to try using monster bones as a raw material. Hearing this, Lana's face lights up. She excitedly asks, sword forging from monster bones, a sword that has never appeared in the world. Lana is completely fascinated by this idea. I want to do it so much. Sayer calmly restrains her sister, covering Lana's mouth to prevent her from agreeing too excitedly right away. But why is the miss entrusting this important task to us? As you can see, we are just some rustic blacksmiths. Kanemia indifferently, but to make weapons from monsters you need blacksmiths who know how to use magic, and the two of you know how to use it, right? Sayer and Lana are startled. Guilty, how do you? Kanemia slowly tells a reasonable reason. Behemoth's sword was once brought to the Duke's mansion. My mother was very satisfied and told me that this is a sword forged with magic. She thinks, actually, I knew it from the original. Kanemia says sharply, I am sure everyone knows who my mother is, right? Sayer and Lana slowly reply. The Mrs. Mother is the hero Iria Leon. The two are immersed in happiness when they think about the fact that the sword they made is cherished by a hero. Sayer feels light-headed, wondering, the hero has recognized the value of our sword. Lana laughs, see, I told you someone will recognize our talent. The two gently discuss with each other, Lana, what should we do now? I really want to try it so much. Kinemia happily thinks, good, just a little more persuasion and they will agree. Thinking this, even her voice is more cheerful, the contract terms are not bad. I will support all the equipment and raw materials. Ian pensively leans against the wall. He glances at Sayer and Lana, secretly admiring slime blacksmiths who also know how to use magic. Ian crosses his arms thoughtfully. And the fact that she recognized me as Rikasha too, she always surprises me, miss, but if you just need to send someone to call them, that would be enough. Why do you have to trouble yourself so much? He quietly glances at Kinemia, pondering, could it be that she is still hiding something? In that happy atmosphere, Kinemia suddenly stops, her eyes are attracted by something, she speaks out, but wait. Are those people over there your subordinates? As soon as the words are finished, everyone sees a figure peeking outside the window. A voice rings out, Brian. The man outside knew he had been discovered. He quickly runs away. Lana, after clearly seeing the person outside, her face is full of anger, she gnashes her teeth, angrily yelling, that bastard. She grabs a weapon and rushes out, shouting, stop, you perverted bastard. Sayer calls after her from inside the house, Lana. She hurriedly chases after them, only having time to turn her head and say a few words, miss, perhaps we have to discuss this later, sorry. As soon as the words are finished, Sayer shouts again, Lana, wait. Both people leave, leaving him and her in the empty house along with the word, big in her head. A chase has made this peaceful land more noisy than ever. Brian runs for his life, followed by shouts, hey, stop right there. His face is full of panic, dripping with sweat, panting as he runs. The voice behind him continues to ring out, I said stop. Running with a lot of blood, Brian is suddenly grabbed by someone by the collar, only having time to shout, ugh. Lana slams him down on the ground, shouting, you stop right now. Being attacked suddenly, he shouts, say. Brian keeps retreating backwards, panically saying, what the hell, why are you chasing me? She is holding an axe in her hand, approaching him, her voice full of anger. This shameless, perverted bastard, shut up. Lana stands in front of him, speaking, I warned you that if you dare to linger near my house again, you are dead for sure, but you are still sneaking around here. He hurriedly justifies, what sneaking, I was just passing by and was chased by you with an axe, that is all. She angrily yells, isn't it because you dare to peep at my house? In her head, she remembers a time when she was bathing and Brian was standing outside the window looking in. He looks at Lana in surprise and somewhat confused, exclaiming, peep, who are you, hallucinating or something? Seeing his reaction, she stiffens. Lana, her eyes wide with resentment, raises the axe high, yelling, this guy. Sayer holds her hand before the axe can be struck down, stop, Lana. Lana looks in surprise at the person behind her, she whispers, Sayer. She hurriedly says, Lana, have you forgotten what you did last time? We lost all our customers, do not act so thoughtlessly again. Lana says a little unbelievingly, what? Lana asks her, are you just going to let this go? What if this bastard peeps at us again? Brian, sitting on the ground, pretends to be innocent, saying, when did I do that? His face is full of contempt. He brazenly says, do you have evidence? Do you think I do not know what you are planning to do? Brian continues to pervertly say, you two are doing poorly in business, so you deliberately frame me to extort money. Right, the two are stunned by what he just said. Lana yells angrily, don't talk nonsense. Our shop was doing badly at first because you slandered and defamed us all over the village. He curses while sitting on the ground, damn it. Brian sneers, teaching a lesson in a haughty manner. It is so easy to falsely accuse someone of being a terrible person. I only stopped by because your shop used to belong to my father. Is that perverted? Instead of framing others here, you should spend that time upgrading your products. Being provoked by him, Lana becomes even more insane. She yells, what do you know about our work to say that so confidently? Sayer, standing behind, pulls her hand, Lana, enough, let us go back. After hearing the venomous snake Brian fabricate, the villagers quickly believe his words. They whisper gossip, a woman whispers, so she had to pretend to be like that because she was doing poorly. In business, the man beside her replies, probably. Sayer hurriedly justifies, no, we did not do that because we were having difficulties. He becomes more and more proud, saying, so unfair. I pitied you, so I was planning to stop by and buy something, but I was treated like trash. Brian turns on the green tea bitch mode, selling miserably non-stop, while Sayer struggles to explain, it is not. The villagers only believe what they want to believe. Her explanation is like a drop in the ocean. The crowd continues to gossip. Standing under the sunset, both are a little helpless in the face of what has happened. At this time, They feel the mouth of the world and its maliciousness. Lana's face is a little sad, she is lost in thought. A voice comes back in her mind, apologize immediately. A woman is holding a child, in front of her are the behemoth sisters who are now children. She shouts loudly, look at the child's face, it is all bruised if it leaves scars. Can you take responsibility? Sayer lowers her head as sincerely as possible, admitting her mistake. I am really sorry, I promise I won't repeat this again. Lana looks at her appearance, softly says, Sayer. She bows her head deeper, continuing, I am really sorry to you, please forgive me one time. Lana thinks in her head, She tightly clenches her hands, trembling, clutching at her skirt to restrain her emotions. Lana thinks in her heart, seeing Sayer having to bow her head because of me, it is really uncomfortable. She lets go of her hand, causing the axe to fall to the ground. Lana gently lowers her head, she says to her, let us go home, Sayer. Seeing her action makes her feel surprised. Sayer gently closes her eyes, a little sadly replying, all right. A loud laugh echoes behind the two sisters Lana and Sayer Benamoth, haha. Brian sits still, pointing and sarcastically saying loudly, look, they run away as soon as they are caught, everyone sees it, the true nature of the two of them is like that. He yells loudly, so humiliating. Two figures walk on the paved road, I have always felt strange. A thought appears, two young women are opening a smithy. Sayer Benamoth frowns, complaining, acting as if they know a lot about smithing, they probably can't even hold a weapon. A voice rings out, Sayer. Sayer blankly looks towards the person speaking, the voice continues, I am really sorry I caused trouble again. Lana Benamoth stands in the sunlight, her eyes are teary, once again because of me she chokes. Sayer Benamoth stands stiffly, blankly. The suitcase and small bags are neatly placed. Lana, is everything ready? Did you forget anything? The Benamoth sisters leisurely walk on the sunny road. Everyone is carrying something. Sayer walks in front, with a hope for the future, asking her younger sister, do you think we can find another peaceful place? Lana apologetically explains to Sayer, I am sorry, Sayer, but that bastard said I grew up like an uneducated orphan. Sayer comforts her younger sister, yeah, I know he started it. She advises Lana Benamoth, but Lana, you can't just rush into anger like that. Sayer sadly talks to her, if you do that, we will always be wandering without a place to stop, we too, no one will trust and stand by our side. A small hand grabs Sayer's hand. What are you saying, Sayer, we have each other. Lana grabs Sayer's hand and comforts her. Lana Benamoth naively comforts Sayer, if no one cares about us, then we will take care of each other. We have always been like that. Sayer is moved, her face reddening when she hears her younger sister's words. She teases Lana, have you ever cared about me? I am always following you and worrying about you. Lana cheerfully, oh, is that so? Why does Lana have to apologize? The real culprit is someone else. Sayer Benamoth thinks to herself. Even if we try to become a part of the village, they do not recognize us, they never even try to do that. The image of the villagers pointing and chasing them away appears. So why should we try to please them? A voice rings out, you are right, Lana. Lana Benamoth turns her head to listen to the voice. Her hand tightly grabs the hammer, if there is no one to help and trust, we will always stand by each other and take care of each other. Sayer, Lana calls emotionally. She opens her eyes and stares at Sayer, at least I. Sayer Benamoth raises the hammer in her hand, preparing to hit Brian, we'll always stand by you. Seeing this, Lana shouts loudly, wanting her older sister to stop Sayer. A scream echoes. Sayer Benamoth is stunned. Lana Benamoth rushes towards her, she yells, Sayer. Brian is shocked by Sayer's actions. He sweats profusely, reaching out to touch his head, my head, is it still not separated yet? Brian mutters curses, this crazy woman. Sayer blankly looks at her hand, thinking what just happened. The hammer disappeared, the person wearing black boots is approaching to stop them, everyone stop. It is Mia Leon, she steps forward, followed by Ian Krotz, I will take care of the rest. Lana is worried about Sayer, she sees the hammer in Ian Krotz's hand. That is my sister's hammer, right? Lana grabs her shoulder, the two sisters look towards Mia. Sayer Benamoth is surprised, why is my hammer there? Mia stands sternly in front of Brian Yu. She stands in the sun, her hair fluttering. Mia orders Brian, apologize to Lana and Sayer immediately. After Mia Leon's sudden appearance, Brian slowly stands up, his voice resentful and contemptuous. Ha, who are you, a little kid who does not know anything? He points towards the Behemoth sisters, loudly denying responsibility. Why should I apologize? They are the ones who falsely accused me because of greed for money. As soon as Brian finishes speaking, She counters with a sharp voice, lies. Her face is cold, lowering her voice, accusing him. You were also peeking, right? Brian is hit where it hurts, panically stammering. What? Do not falsely accuse me. Kinemia Leon ignores his words and continues to speak. Behemoth is discussing a contract with me. A contract with a huge investment. Her voice is angry. So you dare to say I am falsely accusing you just because I want to squeeze some small change from you? Brian immediately replies. His voice contemptuous. You do not know how greedy beggars like them are. He continues to loudly utter sarcasm. They can do anything like that. In his head, he is secretly recalling Kinemia Leon's previous words, investment. Brain's eyes assess her from head to toe, suspicious in his heart. Who is this kid after all? Judging from her clothes, she is not a noble. I have never seen such a child in the upper class in this area. I can't forget such a beautiful face. After thinking for a while, Brian is certain in his heart. So that means she is just the daughter of a slightly wealthy merchant, not worth anything. Thinking this, he shows contempt on his face, sarcastically, with that mediocre ability. You two still expect the contract to be successful. Brian continues to insult. Isn't it easier to take advantage of me to squeeze money from my assets? Lana Behemoth can't bear it anymore, angrily yelling, this bastard. She intends to rush forward but is stopped by Kinemia Leon. Ian Krotz, who has been watching for a while, can't bear it anymore and speaks out. Have you ever held Behemoth's sword? Have you ever really looked at a weapon? He arrogantly confronts, why should I do that? Continuing, Brian boastfully, don't you know who my father is? I do not need to touch those things at all. Hearing this, she sighs wearily. Kinemia Leon is indifferent, scornful, with those weak hands that only know how to point at others. You probably can't even hold a sword. And hey, it seems like you have nothing to brag about except for your father, huh? Her words touch Brian's self-esteem. He boils over, gritting his teeth, you little brat. His hand raises, preparing to slap her. Then suddenly someone loudly calls out to stop, stop. The voice continues to ring out behind. What is all the commotion about? The powerful voice makes him freeze, turning his head to look. The person behind is a man wearing clothes that look like a noble. Seeing that person, Brian immediately recognizes him and speaks out, Count Brun. His face is beaming, secretly happy in his heart. You came at the right time, great. I will make this sassy kid kneel down and beg for forgiveness. Thinking this, Brian quickly runs to him, warmly introduces himself and conveniently accuses Kinemia Leon. Count, I am Brian, I greeted you at the party last time. You came at the right time, I am being wrongly accused. Before he can finish speaking, the Count's face freezes. His eyes widen in surprise as if seeing something unbelievable, unconsciously blurting out, ha. He exclaims, Duchess, then quickly rushes past Brian to move forward. He looks blankly, not understanding why he said that, wondering, Duchess. Count Brun runs to kneel in front of her, bowing in worship. Your subject greets the wings of Leon. Continuing, he is polite, if I had known you were visiting, I would have come to greet you. Kinemia Leon also gently replies, it is okay. I just stopped by to meet the craftsman I mentioned last time. Looking at the two people in front of him, Brain is stunned, his head full of suspicion. What is going on? That kid is the Duchess. Uneasy in his heart, why is the Duchess here at this time? She in front of him glances at Brain and then speaks out, moreover. Kinemia Leon decisively points towards him and accuses. Can you help me deal with this person, Count? He is a pervert who has been constantly harassing the talents that I have my eye on. The unexpected situation stuns Brain. Count Brun is surprised, looking him over and asking, a pervert harassing the talents of the Duchess of the Grand Duke, what? She affirms firmly, yes. The Behemoth sisters follow the trend, revealing all of Brain's crimes. He sneaked into our house after being rejected for flirting. He also spread false rumors to hinder our business. Kinemia Leon also adds a few other crimes of his. Not only did he slander the two of them without basis in public, he also blatantly tried to attack me. Hearing this, Brain flusteredly defends, Duchess. That is completely a misunderstanding, She does not bother with his empty explanations, indifferently glancing at him. Then Kinemia Leon sighs, Brain, seeing this, looks terrified, sweating profusely. She continues, coldly requesting, please apologize to them immediately and do not let me hear about similar things in the future. Hearing this, his whole body trembles, thinking why did it turn out like this? The people on the street have witnessed everything, they whisper gossip. What, so those two people were telling the truth, daring to argue with the Duke, the person that even the Count has to bow to? Will they be easily forgiven? Hearing the words of those around him, Brain is scared in his head. If it continues like this. That thought keeps repeating in his mind. If it continues like this, then I will Then Brain kneels down on the ground. He is kneeling in front of the Behemoth sisters, his whole body trembling, summoning all his courage and loudly, Lana, Sayer, I was wrong, I am sorry. Brain continues to beg, can you forgive me, before his plea. Lana Behemoth and Sayer Behemoth are only silent and do not utter a word. Immediately after, 2 soldiers following the Count step forward to arrest Brain. Their sudden action shocks him. Brain is unwilling, yelling, what, I already apologized. Letting go, Count Brun seeing this, then speaks, you are Brian, right? I was also planning to investigate the complaints about you. He continues to interrogate him. You have laid hands on women and used money to silence them, right? Brain, even while being forcibly taken away, still vehemently denies. No, that is slander. He, having been dragged far away, still yells loudly to justify, it is slander. That action can't help but make everyone around look on. Everything has been settled. The Behemoth sisters attentively listen to the conversation between Count Brun and Kanemia Leon. Duchess, if there was anything that made you unhappy just now, I apologize, I will go and resolve this matter immediately. She only replies gently, I believe you will handle that pervert well. As soon as the conversation ends, the sisters call Kanemia Leon Miss. Hearing this, she also turns her head to look. Sayer Behemoth looks embarrassed, thanking Kanemia Leon, if you had not appeared in time we might have become murderers, really thank you very much. Lana Behemoth beside her, her face radiant with joy also follows, me too, thank you very much. Seeing this, Kanemia Leon then ponders, in the original because they were labeled as murderers, they had to wander the battlefield. If I had come a little later, it would have been really bad. After a few minutes, she quickly replies, no need to thank me. Her face is smiling brightly, continuing, and hey, are you two going to sign a contract with me now? Kanemia Leon persuades them, I have already said it loudly in a crowded place like this, if you do not sign now, won't everyone think I am just bragging? Her words make the Behemoth sisters surprised. Then the 2 sisters look at each other, without uttering a word but their eyes implicitly understanding each other's intentions, smiling. Immediately after, the Behemoth sisters reluctantly but happily speak, there is no other way, Then, the 2 of them say in unison, alright, we agree to sign the contract. A few days pass, on a clear morning with bright sunlight shining into the magnificent castle. In that palace, on the wooden table appears a glistening bright blue sticky goo. Kanemia Leon looks at the blob of goo wobbling on the table, surprised, thinking, slime, was it really created, as expected of Behemoth? She hesitates this, I did not ask you to make it no matter what. Lana Behemoth happily explains, it would be a waste not to make full use of the materials from magical creatures, plus it is not very difficult to make. Sayer Behemoth, standing beside, adds, weapons against magical creatures can take time, so I wanted to try making something first for you to see. She says expectantly, I tried my best to create the most realistic feeling, try touching it. Hearing this, Kanemia Leon hesitates, then puts her hands to knead the blue sticky goo. She kneads it a couple of times and finds it sticky, happily kneading it continuously. The 2 Behemoth sisters, seeing this, then ask, how is it? Because Kanemia Leon is too engrossed in the new toy, she just keeps kneading it without responding. After a while she reacts, her voice satisfied, it is really interesting. Hearing this, Lana Behemoth excitedly says, that is great, I will make more colors next time. Sayer Behemoth also enthusiastically asks, what color do you like, pink, blue? In another corner of the castle, bright sunlight shines through the foliage, some feathers flutter, a voice speaks, how long are you planning to stay here? It turns out to be the voice of Ian's teacher. He flies around Ian Crot's head. Below, he is leaning against the wall reading a book. Ian's teacher speaks with incomprehension, I have assured you that the kid has no magic, the research is already done, right? Ian Crotts slowly replies but avoids the focus, I will stay until the wound is completely healed. He tilts his head in surprise, wound, it has been several months and it still has not healed. He puts on a pitiful face, begging, I was quite badly injured that time, you know that, so it still has not healed. Seeing this, Ian's teacher secretly fumes. This shameless guy, all he knows how to do is deceive others when he opens his mouth. He is helpless, sighing, his voice reluctant. Alright, that is good too, do not go back for the time being, just stay here and pretend to repent. Ian's teacher continues, his voice blaming. This time you caused so much trouble that the elders are all angry. Ian Crotts indifferently replies as if he did not do anything wrong. Are you talking about me? I was just retaliating against the Leon people when they attacked first. He tries to give reasons to defend himself while recalling the bloody, deadly scene that night. That was justifiable self-defense. Just legitimate self-defense. He repeats in surprise then rebuts. justifiable self-defense. Even if it was defense. Saying this, Ulframan snaps loudly. But you killed a dozen mages from the magic tower and you still dare to call that justifiable self-defense. Even while being scolded like that, Ian Krotz on this side is still holding the book, closing his eyes and calmly replying, "Do you know how much headache I had to shield you? Anyway, I already spared a bunch of the Leon family, they are the masterminds." He says with a mysterious look, "And my research is still not done, master." Between the clear sky, the two discuss together. He asks with a weary voice, "What else is there?" Ian Krotz's eyes light up. "I still have an experiment to conduct." He thinks about the adorable Kinemia Leon, wanting to see if this Duke's Duchess is really special or not. In the Grand Duke Leon's castle, a childish voice rings out, 42-43. A person holding a sword is trembling slightly, practicing while counting 44-45. This person is Kinemia Leon. She is so tired that tears are flowing out, unable to try anymore, closing her eyes and muttering 40 yun. Ian Krotz stands behind the door on the side, watching Kinemia Leon practice 40-40-40. Seeing her like that, he speaks out, "Duchess Mia, you look so sluggish in the morning." She is a little annoyed, her face covered in sweat, hurriedly replying, "Because I have low blood pressure. I have also been very busy recently." The servants take turns reporting, "Duchess, please check the plan to expand the smithy." Endless reports, "Trade Deseo wants an exclusive agreement with us to sell slime toys." "Duchess, this is a sketch of the engravings on the new weapon. What do you think?" Kinemia Leon practices while thinking in her heart. The initial plan was just to profit from the Munchkins. Overworking was never in the plan. Because she is concentrating on thinking, she slips, unconsciously exclaiming, "Oh." He grasps the situation, appearing from the other side, catching Kinemia Leon. A sweet scene appears. The two look at each other with fascination. Looking at each other for a moment, then Ian Krotz worriedly asks, "Are you okay?" Kinemia Leon at this time does not dare to look directly into his eyes, but replies shyly, Thank you." She sweats, thinking that was close. Ian Krotz in this situation also does not forget to tease, "Oh, Duchess Mia, your face is red, I just made an impression, right?" Kinemia Leon, hearing this, immediately gets out of his arms. Turning her head back with a little confusion, answering casually, "It is because of the training, it must be." She walks while thinking, "Every time I talk to him I get cornered." A stream of purple power is emitted from Ian Krotz's hand, looking very eye-catching. On this side, Kinemia Leon realizes something, blankly exclaiming, "Ah." He lifts up his clothes, a lot of blood is flowing from his stomach, seeping out of his clothes. Seeing the illness recur, Ian Krotz's face is gloomy, again. She is very worried, then runs to his side, her hands clenching, staring at the wound, panically asking, "You are bleeding, why has not it healed after 5 months?" Ian Krotz is too familiar with this, pointing to the blood, quickly replying, "Wounds caused by magic take longer to heal." Kinemia Leon, because she is concerned, gently touches the wound. Even so, he is startled, painfully exclaiming, "Ugh." Seeing this, she frantically says, Sorry, does it hurt a lot?" Ian Krotz, although it hurts a lot, still pretends to smile happily on the outside for fear of making Kinemia Leon sad. No, it is not serious at all. As soon as he finishes speaking, he thinks, "Is that enough yet?" Ian Krotz looks at her, then carefully thinks, "The Duchess is gradually getting tired. Let her pity me, that will create a void in her heart." Saying this, he bows his head. This is the right time. Recounting to this point, Ulframan feels irritated, angrily yelling, "Don't do that." He is angry, then spouts a long string, "Are you using mind control magic? This is a forbidden type of magic, it directly affects people's consciousness. Besides that little miss is too young. If you disrupt her mind with such strong magic, it can cause serious damage to her body." Ulframan raises his voice, continuing. He suddenly lowers his voice and begs, "Just this once, listen to me, Ian. Forbidden techniques are forbidden for a reason." He raises his hands, thinking in his heart, "But master." Ian Krotz thinks back to the scene of him standing in front of her. His eyes shining brightly, showing a sinister smile. "Isn't this what I have always been doing?" Ian Krotz gently touches Kinemia Leon's cheek. He, with a cunning tone, stroking her cheek while thinking, "Now then, tell me, Duchess. What is the secret that you are hiding?" Kinemia Leon on the side, seeing Ian Krotz staring at her, is confused, not understanding what he intends to do. After a while, she also struggles up and asks, "What did you just do?" Ian Krotz freezes for 5 seconds, his face slightly red with embarrassment. He frantically thinks the magic did not work, then stammers, lying to answer, "Nothing, it is just that you were distracted just now." "That is really boring." Kinemia Leon says loudly, "Today's training ends here. I have to prepare to meet the priest. Ian Krotz, still not understanding the reason, stands blankly, racking his brains to wonder, why did not it work? He looks towards her, going to put away the sword, and reasons the levitation and teleportation magic before still worked well. Does she have the ability to neutralize mind magic? Ian Krotz uses his ability to examine Kinemia, but how? She has no magic, so how can she resist? Who is she really? The more he thinks, the more confused he becomes. Ian Krotz seems to realize something, placing his hand on his chin. His eyes lighting up. His face is excited. That is really interesting. Then immediately follows Kinemia Leon, behind her with his hands behind his back, speaks to probe. You always work hard even when no one is watching. That is really great, Duchess Mia. Kinemia Leon glances back, speaking clearly. I promised my mother that I would not skip training. She suddenly turns her head, remembering Ian Krotz's family situation. Her voice soft, speaking of which, your parents. He is startled, thinking, wait, I should not ask about family relationships so casually. Ian Krotz calmly replies, it is nothing. I do not have parents, I was abandoned when I was a child. He says with a melancholy look. Ian Krotz smiles stiffly, probably around the age of 7. He begins to confide, that day was just a normal day. My father suddenly gave me a blindfold. He said he had prepared a surprise gift, telling me to put on the blindfold and follow him. We walked for a long time, no matter how many times I asked about where we were going or what that surprise was. He did not answer, the ground under my feet was wet. Ian Krotz recalls the image of his father holding his hand and leading him deep into the forest. Walking while blindfolded is really terrifying. But in that moment, all I could think about was how long I had let go of my father's hand. I just kept walking, lost in that feeling, thinking back, he is still terrified. Just as if we would keep walking forever, we finally stop somewhere. The father, Ian Krotz, gently speaks, Ian, can you wait here, don't take off the blindfold. He uses sweet words of enticement, count to 100, I will bring you a gift, then shows a sinister smile. His father pretends to ask, you are a mature and intelligent child, so you can wait, right? Ian Krotz continues, that was the end when I finally realized. The surprise gift was just a lie. Perhaps he would abandon me here, and never come back. He is teary-eyed. Ian Krotz still follows the instructions, not removing the blindfold, waiting for his father until it gets dark, but even so, I waited. The night ends, the day dawns again. I just keep counting to 100 again and again. Returning to reality, he closes his eyes, smiling to comfort himself, then asks, stupid, right? Kinemia Leon, hearing Ian Krotz tell his story, is stunned, her eyes glistening with so much compassion. Kinemia Leon immediately raises her hand. She moves towards him, gently placing her hand on Ian Krotz's cheek, looking at each other with tenderness. Kinemia Leon sweetly speaks, no, not stupid at all, not at all. He, in this romantic situation, is shyly blushing, only knowing to look at her. Scene changes in that room. Kinemia Leon sips her tea, looking towards the woman on the other side. Asking, Priestess Andrea, you said. Kinemia hastily asks Priestess Andrea, you want to withdraw from this position? She calmly replies, yes, miss. At my age, my supernatural abilities are no longer what they used to be. Hearing this, she tries to remain calm, asking further, I understand. So when will the succeeding priestess come to the Grand Duchy? Andrea hesitates, probably. It seems like the church is planning to completely withdraw from the Grand Duchy. This shocking news makes Kinemia jump up in alarm. What? She urges, why, it is not like no one comes to visit the church here, and we still contribute a significant amount to the church every year. But Andrea only replies coldly, I do not know the details. Kinemia guesses to some extent, but I can guess it is because of Duke Roslin, right? The priestess only clears her throat to gloss over, ahem, I do not know what to say, miss. Duke Roslin, the biggest supporter of the temple, and someone with a deep hatred for my family. His daughter, Fairy Roslin, once cancelled her engagement because of her love for my father. He also never recovered a single penny from the huge investment he poured into my father's business, so I bet he won't be able to restrain himself if he sees us. In her heart she thinks, but if the temple closes, people will no longer have a place to go to heal. Kinemia worriedly asks, so, what about the medical care for our people? Andrea reassures her, don't worry too much, Duchess, God will take care of it. Her comforting words backfire. Kinemia becomes even more uneasy after hearing them. Priestess. She makes up her mind, I need to make a plan immediately. At a small wooden house in the middle of a desolate forest. Bottles and utensils are thrown haphazardly on the floor. A dry cough rings out, cough, cough, cough. Shun Tian lies dazedly on the bed, quietly looking out the window, hey. He looks at the withered leaves left on the branches, muttering once the last leaf falls. Shen Tian's eyes are dull as he utters each word softly, I will die. Suddenly, he jolts up, coughing violently. Shen Tian pants, but still does not forget his craving for the liquor. Finally, alcohol, I want to drink. Please bring me some alcohol, that is my last wish. Shen Tian's plea is interrupted by a hand knitting wool. Wake up from your dream. Cashin Lo speaks, pulling him out of the drama. Master, you are so healthy that you can live for another 100 years. Even so, Shen Tian still reaches out a trembling hand to beg. How can you say such cruel words? Please, just a sip. Cashin Lo is still focused on the cat, leaving Shen Tian lying helplessly on the bed. Shen Tian is angry to those damn Westerners. He lies with his arms crossed, cursing, a bunch of ignorant fools. Do you have no compassion? Cashin Lo calmly, still knitting a sweater for the cat. Why do you keep insisting on drinking alcohol? He glances at Shen Tian. No matter what kind I bring, you criticize it terribly. Shen Tian is angry. Isn't it because your alcohol is extremely terrible to drink? Go find it again, there must be a type I want to drink. Cashin Lo muses, Master, why do not you give up searching for that thing? He replies calmly, I have been searching for more than 10 years, but nothing similar has been found. He continues, perhaps there is no such thing as immortal liquor in the first place. Cashin Lo puzzledly asks Shen Tian, why are you so obsessed with that taste? There are many more delicious things in this world. Shen Tian sighs, I still do not understand. His eyes are filled with sadness. There are some tastes. Reminiscing about the memory, Shen Tian's master smiles brightly, inviting him to drink. Come here, Shen Tian, take a sip. I specially used ingredients imported from the Western continent to create this for you. Shen Tian looks at him with a bored face. In broad daylight, Master is drinking again. He says with a disdainful face, I won't drink it. All alcohol only tastes bitter. I do not find anything delicious about it. He is bored to sit. A true alchemist needs to have an open mind and dare to explore everything. He continues, but this is not just ordinary alcohol, it is immortal liquor. Shen Tian is surprised. Immortal liquor. He continues, that is right, do you know how difficult it is to collect the ingredients to brew this? It was so difficult for me to make it. Try a sip. Then Shen Tian also picks up the glass of wine, smells it and tastes it. His eyes widen. Oak, what is this? He spits out all the alcohol he drank. His master sighs. Hey, you spilled all the precious wine on the floor, what a waste. Shen Tian, while vomiting, yells loudly, what kind of immortal liquor is this? It is more like poison, Master. The Western continent has no shortage of delicious ingredients, but Master chose this. He smiles, you are still very childish. Shen Tian says aggrievedly, ugh, okay, I should not have believed you. He continues, enough, I will find someone else to drink with. Next time we go to the Western continent, you can eat sweets to your heart's content. Shen Tian's eyes widen in surprise. Wait, are you really going to take me with you? The master sets a condition with him, provided that you do not neglect your studies. He replies, I always study hard. In the room, a voice suddenly rings out, Shen Tin, have you finished packing for the trip? Shen Tian sits preparing neatly, proudly, of course, but I won't pack for master this time, you take care of yourself. Shen Tian's master smiles, lovingly scolding, oh my, you little cheapskate. Okay. He turns around when he hears him call, Shen Tian. Shen Tian's master announces, I am sorry, but we may have to postpone the trip for a few days. I just received a summons from the royal palace. Shen Tian is confused, wondering what the royal palace. He is dejected, lowering his head in disappointment. They want you to create some deadly weapon to use for war, right? He gets closer and says, Shen Tian. The master gently strokes Shen Tian's head to reassure. You are too young to worry about these things. I will be back soon. Promise me you will eat well and study hard. He smiles warmly, advising it will be all right. At a fortress leaning against the mountain, Xing Kaken rests his hand on the throne, coldly saying, I really do not understand you. His hawk-like eyes seem to see through the heart. He regrets, I have recognized and valued your alchemical abilities the most, and even offered countless opportunities for you to dedicate yourself to me if you obey the order. Xing Kaken sits on the throne, resting his head on his hand. Insidious, I will give you the antidote. Shen Tian's master kneels below, struggling painfully. He questions, what exactly makes you so dissatisfied that you refuse time and time again? He, his mouth full of blood, resolutely replies, alchemy is not something to be used for killing. Even if the other party is a soldier of the enemy army, they are still human. Shen Tian's master is firm. Even if I have to die here today, I will never use my alchemy to kill them or serve the tyranny of the emperor. Xing Kaken sits up straight and laughs, haha. He laughs heartily while mocking, ha 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 ha. You say it is tyranny, your will is truly admirable. Xing Kaken is cunning, smiling sinisterly. But after all, if that will is not used to serve me, what is the point of keeping it? He looks at the person kneeling, coldly judging. If you do not know how to cherish this compassionate heart of mine, then do not expect to be able to take refuge on this continent. Xing Kaken cruelly gives the order. From now on, you and those related to you are officially exiled from this country forever. Shen Tian's master looks with dim eyes, helpless. He sinisterly emphasizes each word. Anyone who dares to help you will be given death. If by some miracle you can still survive, I want to see if you can keep that will to the end while struggling. In a foreign land where no one knows you or not. Xing Kaken threatens. There is no use begging, because as soon as you set foot on this land again, the image of Shen Tian running anxiously to support him while he is staggering appears. His verdict is like a decree. I will not show mercy and will kill you. Shen Tian's master collapses on his shoulder. Shen Tian is frantic to support him. He laboriously supports him while saying loudly to encourage master. Just a little further and we will be at the border. Once we get to the western continent, I will find the antidote. So please endure just a little longer. Shen Tian worriedly looks at the master, teary-eyed thinking, master is losing too much blood if this continues then. He struggles to call out Shen Tian. The master instructs, do you still remember the immortal liquor I let you try last time, the kind that used ingredients from the western continent? His hand tightly hugs his shoulder, crying, master, do not say anything more. Blood is still flowing, Shen Tian's master is gasping for breath. His hand, full of blood, tries to touch Shen Tian's cheek, making his last words, when we get to the western continent, I was hoping to drink that alcohol one more time. He cries with a broken heart, master. Shen Tian's master shows a warm smile like the setting sun, happily. Your taste is still just like a child, go and buy yourself the sweets that you like. He says his last words, I am sorry, I can't be by your side anymore from now on. Shen Tian cries like a child, watching his master leave. One bright morning, he blankly looks out the window. Cashin Lo strokes the cat, looking at Shen Tian, pensively musing. He throws the box away, saying, put aside the search for now, open this first. Shen Tian lazily reaches out to grab it. What is this? Thinking it looks expensive, huh? Looking at the luxurious black box, Cashin Lo explains, the landlord told me to give it to you. He said that a courier from a high-ranking official sent it. He unexpectedly asks back to me. He plays with the cat, suspecting, master, you are an illegal resident. How do you have any connection with such big shots? Did you say something wrong somewhere while drunk? Right, Shen Tian angrily scolds. Don't talk nonsense, you sassy brat. Thinking, don't underestimate me so much. Cashin Lo interprets, I say that because I am worried about you, master. If you act rashly, you could be deported right away. He ignores that nonsense, opening the box. Inside is some kind of bottle along with a letter. Shen Tian wonders, what is this bottle? He picks up the bottle to look at it, shaking it, thinking it is not poison, is it? The bottle sparkles. Shen Tian is full of questions. He opens the letter to read, stunned, guessing, could it be? Shen Tian, holding the letter with trembling hands, painfully says, what is wrong, master? He instructs, pack up Lo. He hugs the cat, surprised. Shen Tian looks out the window pensively. We are going to meet someone. Scene changes to another place. Shen Tian turns his head back when he hears, Shinton, you are here. Han holds out a bowl of water, here, come and take it. It is very precious, do not spill it. I brewed it using ingredients from the western continent. A voice instructs, Shen Tian is stunned, master. He joyfully grabs his shoulder, master, why are you here? Shen Tian asks his master, the road is bumpy, it must have been difficult to get here, how did you? He hesitates, thinking, ah. The two teachers and disciples stand together on the stone bridge. Shen Tian secretly guesses, it is just a dream. A gentle breeze blows past the two figures. Shen Tian lowers his eyes pensively. Under the weeping willow tree, Shen Tian is apologetic, master, your disciple is untalented, living every day in physical and mental exhaustion. In the western continent, there is nowhere to evoke memories of master. Xing Kaken burned all of your portraits. He tells his master about what happened. Shen Tian laments, and no one here knows alchemy. They do not even fully understand your great achievements. He is sad, perhaps in this land only I remember you, but now. Before Shen Tian's eyes, the figure of his master gradually becomes blurred. I also do not remember master's face clearly. It is as if you never existed. I do not want the memories of you to fade and disappear like this. Give me some sign so that I do not forget you, such as. He confides. That alcohol that I tasted that time. Small drops of alcohol are imagined by Shen Tian to fall into his mouth. On the bed, he suddenly opens his eyes, waking up. Everything that Shen Tian just experienced turns out to be just a dream. Shen Tian looks around, unfamiliar objects appear, he thinks this. Where am I, Lord Shen Tian? A voice rings out, interrupting his thoughts. Mia Leon, holding a small white glass bottle in her hand, smiles brightly as she approaches. She asks with concern, are you feeling better? A few hours ago, Mia leans boredly against the balcony, she sighs. She looks up at the sky, thinking in her heart, a week has passed since I started acting, there is still no news today. After receiving the order to close the temple from the church, Priestess Andrea is also very regretful. I am really sorry, Duchess. 2 retainers are eager, wanting to help their miss. The funds are ready, miss, please use our money too. Kinemia sits pensively, sadly stopping them. No, this is just bait from the church. After rejecting all the proposals for a donation contest with Duke Roslin from the vassals, the alternative solution that Kinemia thinks of is alchemy from the Eastern continent. Alchemy, a mysterious art, independently originating from the Eastern continent, in a land without the control of the church, alchemy has replaced spiritual power to heal people. Unlike spiritual power, alchemy requires the priest to spend a long time healing others. Alchemy approves the use of elixirs to treat people in a short period of time. Because of that reason, later in the original work, alchemy has become more popular than spiritual power. That is the goal, and this is the perfect opportunity to recruit alchemists and seize the blue ocean market in the Western continent, Kinemia thinks. Fortunately, in the Western continent, there are alchemists operating secretly in various places. They were exiled from the Eastern territory for opposing the tyrant Xing Kaken, currently living as illegal immigrants, which will make it difficult to gather them together publicly. But as long as that person is there is still a chance, Kinemia thinks with hope. On a clear day, Vanessa hurriedly reports to Kinemia. Miss, the guest you mentioned has arrived. She happily turns around, really. The person that Kinemia is waiting for is the leader of the Alchemy Association, an unrivaled alchemy genius. Vanessa hesitates. Yes, but, are you sure, miss? Her face turns pale. Are these the people that you are waiting for, miss? That guest is Shen Tian Xinghai. He collapses, leaning completely on low, and feebly utters fragmented sounds. Get closer. Kinemia is shocked, standing frozen, looking at the 2 guests in front of her. Shen Tian raises his dazed eyes to look at Kinemia, breathing as if he is exhausted. This old body of mine can't last long, so, give me alcohol, bring me some alcohol. Kinemia screams in her heart, this is too scary. She hurriedly arranges alcohol for Shen Tian. Vanessa, bring the alcohol here. Vanessa also hurriedly replies, yes, miss. After satisfying his thirst for alcohol, Shen Tian elegantly sits opposite Kinemia. Kinemia uncomfortably thinks, making a fuss as if he is about to die. He is still very healthy. Not only that, I heard that he has become unrealistically strong by eating everything he sees while looking for alcohol, yet he is still so young, how absurd. Additional information, Shen Tian is actually much older than he looks. Kinemia curiously glances towards Lo. Who did he bring with him? Seeing the stern appearance of both the person and the cat, Kinemia suddenly loses all curiosity. She thinks it is best not to look into his eyes. Kinemia focuses her thoughts on the main thing. Now then, I have to focus on making a good impression on Shen Tian. She bows, greeting, thank you for taking the time to come here. Lord Shen Tian Xinghai. I am Kinemia Leon, Duchess of the Leon Duchy. Shen Tian calmly crosses his arms, assessing the girl in front of him. He secretly assesses, so this box was sent by this kid. At least she seems to be a person who knows etiquette, unlike those rude inferiors in the Western continent. She is a little person but has a beautiful face that can topple countries and cities. Shen Tian sharply goes straight to the point. It is a pleasure, young Duchess. What brings you to actively seek me out like this? Kinemia frankly asks. Lord Shen Tian, you are the most skilled alchemist in the Western continent, right? Lo intently stares at the 2. Shen Tian smiles slightly, his face as if he had predicted this would happen. It seems like my reputation has spread even to this place. As expected, the needle hidden in the bag will eventually be revealed. Kinemia politely smiles in response. Yes, across the continents, you are exactly the crane standing among the chickens. Therefore, the Leon Duchy wishes to borrow Lord Shen Tian's alchemy talents. Shen Tian is slightly surprised. Oh, this little miss can also speak the language of the Eastern continent. Lo, sitting and listening, feels dizzy and confused. The needle in the bag, the crane among the chickens. Kinemia modestly, there is still much to learn. In the Eastern continent there are many proverbs containing profound life experiences. As a leader, I find them very worthy of further study. She continues, the Leon Duchy intends to use all the buildings within the temple grounds to establish an area for alchemists. Shintian ponders, an area for alchemists. You will need to gather quite a few alchemists then. He quickly understands Kanemia's intention. So, you want to appoint me as the leader and gather other alchemists, right? She softly replies, yes, we will reward you handsomely. Kanemia gives attractive conditions. All alchemists who immigrate to the Grand Duchy will be provided with legal documents, housing, and paid a reasonable salary. Shintian muses, He lowers his eyes, pondering, not only did she seek me out alone, but she also wants to build a dedicated area for alchemy, and in the Western continent, where alchemy is almost a forbidden thing. The Grand Duchy will directly manage and ensure legal and work. That bold move, perhaps it is because they have enough power to deal with the negative reactions that they dare to do so. Shen considers everything while Kanemia leisurely drinks tea, waiting for his answer. Shen secretly assesses. This proposal offers a huge amount of profit. But the purpose of this matter has not been mentioned yet. Shen thinks very soberly. It is often said that greed leads to loss. Perhaps I will temporarily accept and carefully reconsider. He has made a decision. I can't refuse such a generous reward. After a period of careful consideration, Shen opens his mouth. Hey kid, Lo suddenly jumps up, standing between the two. I agree, fairy. The atmosphere is suddenly filled with pink. Kanemia and Shen stand frozen before Lo's words. Kanemia asks dryly, fairy? Lo replies with an unchanged face, yes, fairy. Shen is furious, gritting his teeth. He frantically thinks, I completely forgot. Quite different from his rough appearance, cute things can absolutely attract this guy. While thinking, Shen glares at Lo, who is staring brightly at Kanemia in front of him. Shen raises his fist, yelling loudly, you damned bastard. Who do you think you are to make decisions on your own? Lo unwillingly glares at him. This proposal is too great. Moreover, you also need to have a new purpose in life now, right? This sentence from Lo makes Shen freeze. The atmosphere between the two suddenly becomes tense. Lo looks straight at Shen If it was that person, he would definitely focus on the task at hand instead of wallowing in the past. Shen glares warningly, don't cross the line. Kanemia hurriedly intervenes, wait, you two do not fight, I have not said the most important part yet. She gently places a carefully sealed letter on the table. Shen are not you very eager to know the recipe for the alcohol that I sent? She successfully attracts Shen attention. He turns around, what? Kanemia calmly, the recipe for brewing the immortal liquor, I will give it to you. These words shock both Shen and Lo. Shen looks at her in surprise. The recipe for that alcohol, Kanemia quickly replies, yes. She makes a proposal if you agree to sign this lifelong contract with the Leon Duchy. The three maintain silence for a short period of time. Shen slowly repeats, a lifelong contract. This makes Kanemia tensely look at him, expecting Shen to continue. He crosses his arms, leaning against the back of the chair, before discussing the contract further. I want to confirm a few things. Shen sharply looks at Kanemia. How does the Grand Duchess know that I am looking for immortal liquor? And what do you have to prove that it is the correct recipe? Hearing the question from Shen Kanemia calmly gives an answer. I know you are looking for immortal liquor while investigating your whereabouts. She gently continued. I heard rumors that a drunkard went to the east, going around pubs calling for immortal wine. Lo and the cat in his arms glared at Shen making him pretend to cough awkwardly. There are gossips everywhere. Kanemia looked down at the letter on the table. Actually, I do not know if this formula is exactly what you need, but the only person who can confirm it is you, Duke Shen. Her words surprised Shen. He asked hesitantly, what do you mean? Kanemia explained leisurely. My grandfather, the late Duke, traveled extensively in his youth to broaden his knowledge. From neighboring countries to faraway lands with different climates and cultures, and recorded his experiences in a diary. It was like a story that was intertwined with my journey of growing up. Therefore, when I learned that Sir Shen was looking for immortal wine, I remembered the contents of the diary, which was about my grandfather's encounter with a man from the East. He introduced himself as an alchemist from the East, searching for ingredients to brew a type of wine called immortal wine, saying he wanted to let his disciple, who knew nothing about wine, taste the most sublime flavor. After a long and arduous journey, he finally collected enough ingredients, and with a radiant smile, he set off to return to his homeland, where his disciple was waiting for him. That is the story, Kanemia concluded neatly. Shen was stunned after hearing it, thinking to himself, Master, Shen Tian pondered sadly. I thought I would never find any traces related to him again. He wondered, so, the formula was also recorded in that diary. Kinemia Leon replied, yes, the wine I sent you was made according to the formula in the diary. She took the opportunity to be curious. What does it taste like, Sir Shen Tian? Is it the flavor you have been searching for? Shen Tian was caught off guard by the question. He slowly explained, the first sip, it felt like my mouth was on fire. Then, the taste enveloped my throat thickly, followed immediately by a rich aroma. Shen Tian recalled memories between him and his master, feeling heartache. Finally, the aftertaste lingered, as fresh as a forest and as sweet as honey. His smile was warm and he happily played with me. Shen Tian also smiled happily, enjoying the memory. Returning to the present, he said, yes, there is no mistaking it. Shen Tian closed his eyes, reminiscing and sighing. That intense flavor is forever etched in my mind. That is exactly what I have been searching for. He said to himself, unless the royal council collapses, the road back to my homeland is still far away. Returning to a place without master is meaningless to me. Remembering Kinemia Leon, Shen Tian resolved, moreover, there are people here who want to use master's knowledge to save people. He was determined, this time with my own hands, I will leave master's mark on this land. Facing her, Shen Tian hesitated then. Kinemia Leon was overjoyed, smiling like a flower as she heard him. Where should I sign? She exclaimed excitedly. Does this mean? She thanked him profusely. Thank you, Sir Shen Tian. You won't be disappointed. He replied, all right, I believe you. Cashin Lo, with flushed cheeks, gently supported Kinemia Leon's hand, overjoyed. That is really great, Fairy. From now on, please take care of our master. As soon as he finished speaking, he disappeared in a flash. She was confused, saying, Shen Tian sat firmly in his chair, and the black cat jumped onto the table. A cold voice rang out, Miss Mia. Are you all right? Kinemia Leon turned around abruptly, saying, oh. She exclaimed in surprise. Ian, the handsome Ian Krotz, asked caringly, were you injured anywhere? Kinemia Leon was flustered. Just now, was that you? He questioned suspiciously. Yes, was not there a suspicious man who wanted to touch the miss? I am your bodyguard, after all. She awkwardly corrected. He is not a suspicious person. Kinemia Leon asked in panic, Ian, where did you send Lo? Ian Krotz coldly and somberly emphasized, to the forbidden marble forest in the west. She shouted in shock, bring him back immediately. He snapped his fingers, dejected. Sit fine. If Miss Mia insists. Cashin Lo, covered in injuries, emanated a murderous aura, taking a fighting stance. Kinemia Leon was stunned. Lo, are you all right? What happened in just a moment? He frowned uncomfortably. It is nothing. She added, you do not look like it is nothing. Kinemia Leon scolded, Ian, Lo is not a suspicious person. Don't ever do that again, got it? Ian Krotz replied nonchalantly, understood. Shen Tian lowered his head, defensively tense, thinking, that person, Cashin Lo. He is like a demon, he thought to himself. His eyes are completely empty. He seems like he will be even crazier than Xing Koken. While he was thinking, she interrupted, here, please sign here. Shen Tian's voice echoed from inside the room, all right, kid. I want to lie down for a bit. It is almost done. Kinemia Leon held the contract happily. Okay, please rest. From now on, I am counting on you. Her heart was blossoming. Yes, I have officially recruited Shen Tian. Kinemia Leon recalled her gloomy state. Just when I did not know how to recruit him. A special book caught her attention. The diary of her grandfather caught her eye. Kinemia Leon exclaimed, I can't believe I was so lucky. She opened the book and read, oh, this is talking about Shen Tian and his master. Kinemia Leon pondered, why did I suddenly get the idea to read this diary that I have not touched in so long? It is like. She was secretly grateful someone led me. In a palace, sunlight streamed through the canopy. People bustled back and forth. A man walking by asked curiously, what is going on? Why are there so many people from the east in the Grand Duchy? The bald man replied, they say they are alchemists. The crowd discussed, alchemists. I heard the Grand Duchess will turn the temple grounds into a place for alchemists to operate, called. In front of a mansion, the man said, Hymanwan, I think. Inside the mansion, all right, from now on. Kinemia Leon, accompanied by Shen Tian, announced, we will begin the divine medicine demonstration. She pointed, this person representing those who are injured, please step forward. The injured man flinched, exclaiming, yes, worrying inwardly. Divine medicine from alchemy, it is not something weird, is it? He held a pale brown bottle. This is a medicinal water that I personally concocted in the Western continent, known as a divine medicine. The method of use is very simple. Shen Tian smiled sinisterly and barbarically, pouring the medicine directly onto the wound. Just pouring it directly onto the wound like this is enough. The other man felt like he was dying and screaming, "Ah!" The wound healed. The man groaned in pain, hic, ugh, ag. Quickly the man was overjoyed. "Ha, it does not hurt," he said confidently, "of course not." "Don't overreact." A bystander watching exclaimed, "The wound healed so quickly, unbelievable." Shen Tian was praised, beaming with joy. The man wondered, "Then, Duke, what exactly is the name of this medicine?" He proudly and smugly smiled, "It is called Palpo." The crowd praised, "Oh, Palpo, what a beautiful name." Over here, Kinemia Leon was looking for Ian Krotz. She called out, "Ian," he turned coldly, uttering a "hm." Kinemia Leon grabbed his hand and pulled him away. "Come with me." Ian Krotz was confused. "Where to?" She smiled like a flower, replying happily, "Where else but to treat your wounds, of course." He smiled helplessly and followed without saying anything more. Kinemia Leon pulled Ian Krotz to the Hymanwan pharmacy. As soon as she stepped through the door, the pharmacists of the pharmacy immediately rushed out to greet her, their faces beaming with smiles, enthusiastically greeting, "Welcome, little fairy." They excitedly chattered, "What brings you here?" "Ah, so cute. Coincidentally, I have some medicinal candy here. Would you like one?" Before the barrage of questions from the alchemists, Kinemia Leon politely replied, "Ah, thank you. I will take it later." She explained the reason for her visit today. "I am here today to heal Ian, my bodyguard. It is a wound caused by magic. Please take a look." Hearing this, they readily agreed. "Course fairy, this way please." Ian Krotz stood outside sighing. He and she went inside the pharmacy. Sitting opposite Ian Krotz was an alchemist. He said in a calm voice, "Let me check the wound first. Show me where you are injured." The alchemist lowered his head to look at his wound. "Let us see." The moment he saw it, he was astonished. "This is..." Suddenly, the alchemist heard a voice echoing in his head, "Alchemist, can you hear me?" He looked blank, and the voice continued, "Don't be so surprised. Only you can hear me." In the blink of an eye, he understood. "Dare to go against my will, and you are dead." It turned out that Ian Krotz was using voice manipulation magic to communicate with the alchemist. The last sentence terrified him. He continued to demand, "Tell her that you can't treat it, that the wound cannot be healed due to a curse." Hearing this, the alchemist looked at Ian Krotz with a puzzled expression. What? Then he suddenly thought, come to think of it. He recalled the pharmacy owner's words. "Master Shen Tian also warned me to be careful of the madman who follows the fairy." He deliberately injured his side, repeatedly tearing the wound until it became infected. He could not help but exclaim, "This guy is crazy." Suddenly he hesitated, glancing to the side, thinking, but on the side were the alchemist's fellow disciples, looking at him expectantly, wanting to see how skilled he was. This made the alchemist hesitate. Telling me to say I can't heal it in front of my fellow disciples is an insult to an alchemist. Then, he glanced at Kinemia Leon, saying to himself, "And this is also the perfect opportunity to impress the fairy, the owner of this healing place." While he was lost in thought, Ian Krotz's voice echoed in the alchemist's head, "Hey, are you listening to me?" Ignoring the voice that kept ringing, "Hello." He concentrated his thoughts, mustering all his courage to make a choice. "All right, I can't sacrifice the honor of an alchemist just because of this childish ret." His voice was still echoing in his head. "I am Ian Krotz, and I am about to kill you. Nice to meet you." Thinking this, he turned to Kinemia Leon and said, Little fairy. This wound can't be healed with divine medicine. I feel like there is a very strong curse, magic or something." The alchemist affirmed, thinking to himself as he spoke. His peaceful present and future in the Crown Prince's territory are still more important to him. Hearing this, she was slightly disappointed. "Is that so?" he said reluctantly. "Sorry, I can't help you." Ian Krotz in front of him gave a thumbs up, his face satisfied. But in just a moment the expression on his face changed. His eyes drooped, and he pondered, "That is right, this is not the right time to heal. I still do not understand kinema." Ian Krotz thought and recalled images of Kinemia Leon. "Until now, all I know is that she does not possess magic but uses a sword very skillfully." He remembered her sleepy demeanor when practicing swordsmanship in the morning and thought, "She has no strength in the morning. And she also likes soft animals like her." Ian Krotz thought as he remembered Kinemia Leon hugging and caressing the black cat. He watched her chatting happily with the other alchemists in the pharmacy and thought, while she keeps her distance from me, she easily gets along with others. And easily smiles at others except for me. Ian Krotz's eyes were filled with sadness, feeling a little dejected. Everyone except me. When he thought of this, he froze, not even understanding why he had such thoughts. Ian Krotz stared at Kinemia Leon, wondering, what is this? Why do I feel annoyed suddenly? Someone called her from behind, Fairy, causing Kinemia Leon to turn around in surprise. Ah, Nying Papa, she exclaimed when she saw him running towards her. Nying Papa exclaimed excitedly, I sensed loveliness nearby, so I came immediately. It is indeed the little fairy. Seeing him, he felt annoyed. That persistent guy again. Ian Krotz screamed in his heart, what does he think he is latching onto? The sudden anger caused his eyes to emit purple murderous auras. The murderous aura gathered into electrical impulses that transmitted toward Nying Papa, who quickly recognized its presence. Nying Papa focused his strength under his feet for support. Then he leaned to the side, gently dodging the attack. Despite the sudden attack, Nying Papa showed no fear, his face remaining unchanged. Seeing this, he widened his eyes, surprised he dodged it. Watching him happily run over, she wondered, didn't you bring your kitten today? Kinemia Leon did not know what had just happened because everything happened so fast that Mia could not see it. Nying Papa replied, the kitten is sleeping in the room. Kinemia Leon exclaimed excitedly, that sounds cute, it seems like it has a new sleeping place. At this time, Ian Krotz, standing behind, was still wondering how could he. His eyes were sharp and vigilant as he thought, just by using his body, he still dodged the attack. Only high-level Taoists in this continent can do that. Ian Krotz stared at him, questioning this person, who exactly is he? Nying Papa was looking for something while saying, I have a gift for the fairy, she exclaimed in surprise and excitement, what is it? He took out and gifted Kinemia Leon a wool hat with 2 long ears. She put it on, delighted, wow, it is so soft and warm. Nying Papa's heart melted because Kinemia Leon looked so cute wearing that wool hat. She politely thanked him and wondered, thank you, but why are you suddenly giving me a gift? He replied gently, the weather is starting to get cold. If the fairy catches a cold, I will be heartbroken. Kinemia Leon was happy, honestly admitting, I am so happy, this is the first time I have received a gift made by someone's own hands. Nying Papa exclaimed in surprise upon hearing this, huh? He was stunned, I thought the fairy received 35 handmade gifts every day. She also found it hard to believe, repeating 35. Kinemia Leon was confused and laughed. What are you thinking? Ian Krotz stood watching, feeling annoyed, thinking again. He felt jealous when she laughed and talked happily with Nying Papa. She easily smiles with that monkey. Ian Krotz felt lost when he thought, why is not she like that with me? He felt a little frustrated, thinking, what is so good about being called cute all the time? There's nothing good about it. Ian Krotz kept staring at the hat, saying to himself, that yarn. Kinemia Leon was now fiddling with the 2 hat strings, grateful for Nying Papa's gift. Thank you so much, Lo. Looking at the hat, a surge of jealousy made him frustrated, thinking, it is making me uncomfortable. Nying Papa's face flushed, calling Kinemia Leon affectionately, fairy. He lifted her up, determined, from now on, I will knit something for the fairy every day. Kinemia Leon was a little embarrassed and happy. Ah, you do not need to do that. Ian Krotz stood watching, seething with anger. Then, someone called her Miss. Kinemia Leon also went over there. Yes, I am coming, without noticing that he was using his power to attack Nying Papa repeatedly. But he dodged them all. Someone from the 2nd floor, seeing this, exclaimed, oh my god. It turned out that it was Shen Tian. He was drinking tea and exclaimed, crazier than Sing Kokken. Complaining, it is ruining my tea. Suddenly, a worker from the pharmacy came to Shen Tian, calling respectfully, Master Shen Tian. He asked worriedly, what is wrong? Is there a problem at the pharmacy? She replied sincerely, no, I just want to express my gratitude. The pharmacy worker slowly said, I am truly grateful to you and your master. Thank you for establishing Haimanwen. Hearing this, Shen Tian was surprised. He wondered, you know my master, she replied honestly. Although I do not know him personally, if you are an alchemist, you are sure to know about him. The worker explained, in my hometown, I lived my whole life as an alchemist respected by everyone in the village. Her voice was slightly heavy as she continued, but after coming to the Western continent, I became an illiterate, a useless old woman, almost unable to speak or read properly. After being treated like that for a long time, I also started to think that I was useless. At one point, I lived as if I was just waiting to die, the worker confided. She recalled the time when she first joined the pharmacy and continued, "When I saw the announcement, I came to the pharmacy, and after a long time, I prepared to process herbs and concoct medicines. And seeing how everyone was treating illnesses, I realized something." The old woman smiled happily, "That I can also help others. After all, I am not a useless old woman. Once again, thank you to you and the master who raised you for giving me this opportunity now." Shen Tian silently looked at the old woman. She smiled and bowed to thank Shen Tian once more before leaving. Shen Tian thoughtfully tilted his head back and finished his cup of wine, thinking, "I am not the only one who remembers master." He tilted his head back to look at the clear sky. His face relaxed, smiling from the bottom of his heart today. It felt like the master he missed so much was right beside Shen Tian. Shen Tian whispered softly, "This tastes really good today, master." The sky was gloomy, and heavy rain fell as if to increase the gloominess of this estate. Inside the estate was a similar terrible scene as the weather outside. The panting of fear was mixed with the sound of footsteps in the hallway, and a trembling voice rang out, "If you are so good." The owner of that voice screamed tragically, "If you are so good, then kill me." A figure stepped on the hallway covered in streaks of blood, slowly approaching him from the darkness. Ian was still standing in the darkness. He tilted his head and smiled lightly menacingly. "How could I do that, Ryan?" Ian said leisurely, "I can't let you die so easily." Hearing this, Ryan retreated in panic, stammering, "Don't come near here." Ian gradually moved forward. "I know you are stupid, but I did not expect you to be this stupid." "Did you really think you could kill me?" Ryan retreated with effort while shouting, "Stop, stop." Ian bent down eye to eye with Ryan. "Let me teach you a lesson. Even if you are an idiot, you must know how to reflect on your arrogance." Ryan widened his eyes in panic, muttering broken sounds. What are you going to do?" Ian still smiled. With that innocent face, he straightly stabbed Ryan's eye socket. Everything happened too fast. He could only utter an amazed sound. Ryan stammered, "EI." He was like a broken radio, repeating, "My eye, my eye." Ian smiled gleefully. "That is right, Ryan, this is your eye." Ryan went crazy. "Give it back to me, give it back." Ian casually dropped the eye on the ground. "From now on, every time you look at that empty eye socket, it will remind you of today. This is the price you have to pay for stabbing me in the side," he said as he looked deeply into Ryan's crazed eye. His remaining eye carefully watched the eye being thrown on the ground. Ian's cold voice still rang out, "So, you do not need to be too grateful to me," he said while smiling a sincere smile. Ryan screamed miserably and woke up from the horrifying nightmare. He was panting, unable to recover from the dream. Ryan clenched his hands. "Ian Krotz, I swear I will take revenge. Hunting down all that you cherish, tearing them apart, grinding them into dust, burning them into ashes. To make you live the rest of your life in regret," he cried, swearing bitterly in resentment. The magic stone radiated warmth throughout the large room. Kinemia exclaimed softly in satisfaction, "Triple." She buried herself in the blanket, revealing her rosy and cute face. "Am better now." Vanessa brought a cup of tea. "If you are so sensitive to the cold, what will we do? At this rate, we will burn through all the magic stones for the winter." Kinemia replied nonchalantly, "If we run out, we will just buy more." She said cheerfully, "Our slime-derived divine medicine and tonics have been a resounding success. So what is there to worry about magic stones?" Vanessa was exasperated with her young miss. Sighing softly, "Well, that is true, but the price of magic stones has recently spiked drastically," Vanessa said worriedly. Kinemia, upon hearing this, asked in disbelief, "Why aren't new mines still being found, and magic stones still being mined?" Vanessa explained gently, "It seems there are difficulties in finding units to clean up the mines." More importantly, she stopped abruptly, realizing she had misspoke. Kinemia was curious. What is it?" Vanessa smiled evasively. It is nothing, just that really." Kinemia sulked inwardly. Just telling the truth would be enough. She secretly thought, Earl Harv is charging us too much. He is an important figure in the magic stone industry. Earl Duran Harv. Level of hatred 9 out of 10. Level of threat 4 out of 10. His uncle was purged by Regent Kenneth Lyon, her grandfather. Kinemia wrapped herself in a blanket and lay down. Even though Earl Duran Harv's grandfather has been missing for a long time, the Earl still harbors hatred, and his uncle was executed for embezzling taxes in the first place. She looked into the air, talking to herself, "If it has come to this, then why do not we mine magic stones ourselves?" Kinemia paused for a moment, realizing something. Mine management office. The staff stared blankly at Kinemia, who was busy closing deals. This one too, oh, and this one as well. She smiled radiantly. Ah, I will take everything that this village has. The staff carefully reminded Kinemia. Your Highness, are you sure the dungeon that you chose last does not have monsters, so it won't produce magic stones? She still replied happily, yes, it is fine. Hearing this, she hesitated. Yes, then I will proceed with the transaction. Kinemia smiled brightly, thinking to herself, of course. A mine without monsters also does not have magic stones. But instead, it has a mineral that is more precious than magic stones, mithril. Kinemia happily thought about the future. Currently, no one has found mithril in this mine yet, so this is like insider trading in the stock market. The staff lightly announced, your purchase transaction is complete. She smiled. Now your Highness can send people to clean up the mine. Oh, speaking of which, have you hired a guild to raid the mine yet? Kinemia asked blankly. What guild? She slowly realized, oh, that is right. Kinemia pondered sadly. What am I doing? So busy buying mines that I forgot about the guild. Wait, pause for a moment for Mia to explain about guilds in this world. Alright, we are in a place with a shortage of combat guilds. This crisis started a few years ago when the combat guild Nightfall, one of the largest combat guilds, announced its retirement. Therefore, from today on I will hang up my sword. Because Nightfall was built on the foundation of teamwork, when the leader left, the members also gave up fighting. This led to a manpower shortage crisis in the field of combat guilds. But because dungeons still need to be raided, which means combat guilds are still necessary. The angry businessmen said, what guild situation, I do not care. Quickly find me some people, we need to sell more magic stones as soon as possible. With the demand increasing and the supply lacking, a series of illegal guilds emerged to profit. A group stood up resolutely. Need to raid the mine, leave it to us, you can trust us, veteran warriors, dear customers. Ah no, dear distinguished guests, practical tactical experience, 1 week. In the end, the scammers began attacking the mine and stealing magic stones, then disappeared without a trace. Mrs. Sagi Ho, mine owner, 58 years old, if a guild runs away, how can we catch them? I used my life savings to buy this mine, and now I have sleepless nights. Kinemia pondered. Currently, there are only a few reliable and experienced guilds left, but I do not have any acquaintances to recommend me. I am just an outcast after all. Suddenly, a voice interrupted her train of thought. Miss Shen Tian approached with a bright smile. Why are you sighing like the sky is about to fall? You will make all the good luck fly away. Kinemia turned around. Brother, as Shen Tian suggested. The term brother would now be used instead of sir to avoid confusion. She hesitated, drinking again. Shen Tian brandished the wine bottle in his hand. Come on, do not worry about it. To me, wine is like medicine. Kinemia said sternly, but Niang will worry. Shen Tian scoffed. Humph, just let that lowly guy worry. He is the one who is making me gray-haired. A loud noise suddenly rang out. Niang was exploded and blackened. The people around him rushed over worriedly. Niang, causing trouble again, at this rate the house will burn down. Shen Tian scolded helplessly. That blockhead still does not change. He asked for help. Listen, I need someone to help with something. Kinemia Leon turned to him upon hearing this. Shen Tian looked at Cashin Lo, who was smudged with dirt, and suggested, take him somewhere else and give him work to do. Okay, she asked in surprise and doubt. Niang, but he is learning alchemy from you. He frowned, complaining, that kid just calls himself my disciple. I never agreed to teach him. Besides, alchemy is not suitable for him. Kinemia Leon was surprised and confused. Oh, is that so? Shen Tian sincerely assessed. It would be better if he used his strength elsewhere. After all, he is a Cashin. She glanced down absent-mindedly. Ah, Cashin, huh? As soon as she finished speaking, Kinemia Leon froze, standing still for 5 seconds. She shouted in shock, Cashin, do you mean Cashin Lo of Nightfall? He said indifferently. Oh, so you know. Shen Tian added, yeah, that idiot used to lead some Nightfall guild or something. Kinemia Leon gaped, thinking Niang was the leader of Nightfall. She shouted in disbelief, Heya. Cashin Lo below scratched his ears irritably. Oh my god, my ears. In a spacious palace, from today onwards, Lion's confinement order has been lifted. Ian Krotz sat with his legs crossed on the chair, coldly saying, is that so? The angry bird scolded, this insolent brat, when master speaks, you should listen seriously. It alluded to Ryan, reminding him, you know that he is an ambitious person, we will not be able to predict his next steps, so we always have to be on guard. The bird worried, as long as we are not prepared, something will always happen. He did not bother to look back, saying indifferently, but master, even if Lion is ready to face death, he is still not my opponent. Ian Krotz concluded, you know it, right? It gave up on that smugness thinking, and that is exactly what made Ryan crazy. The bird changed the subject. Enough of that. Anyway, you still do not have signs for your second awakening, do you? He was engrossed in crocheting and replied tersely. Feel stiff joints these days. I commented, maybe it is about to start, you are about to suffer. The bird looked helplessly, hesitating, but It wondered, what exactly have you been doing all this time? Is that a cursed magical tool? Ian Krotz did not answer, just focusing on his work. After a while he revealed, as you can see, I am knitting. The bird started chuckling. Teased, so this is what you are terrible at. Aren't you just twisting those strands of thread, really knitting? Piles of yarn were scattered on the floor. Ian Krotz said, annoyed, be quiet, master. The bird asked curiously, but why knitting? It is not like you at all. He replied grouchily with 3 words, just bored. Ian Krotz remembered the image of Kinemia Leon smiling happily. This is the first time I have received a handmade gift. Thank you, I am so happy. He frowned and cursed himself. Damn it, why do I keep thinking of that scene? The inheritor of the desert, Cashin. Possessing extraordinary physique and abilities, and superior combat instincts. Cashin migrated to the Empire when the oasis dried up. Then he began working for the Nightfall Combat Guild. Nightfall quickly became famous, excelling at every task assigned and gaining a reputation. Everyone believed that the glorious era of Nightfall would last forever, but one day, for some reason, the guild leader washed his hands and retired. And so, Nightfall gradually faded into history. Now that very leader, Cashin Lo, held the newly knitted hat and smiled brightly. Fairy, today I knitted you a wool hat. He has become a crocheting artisan. She sat opposite him, grateful. Thank you, Lo, thinking to herself, his craftsmanship, no one can compare to it. Kinemia Leon pondered sadly, thinking about the world's strongest swordsman abandoning his sword, because that very sword. She recalled, asking Shention curiously, Nying Papa, why did he leave Nightfall? He revealed, I heard that the sword he treasured like a soulmate was shattered. Kinemia Leon was confused, asking, the sword? Shention explained, the legendary sword of the desert, Twen. In Cashin's homeland, it is said that a swordsman's soul lies in their sword. He declared that his soul was lost on that day, and then abandoned the sword. He observed while disappointed, it is ridiculous. What sword is not a sword? A truly skilled craftsman would never blame their tool. Does he need to be so different? Shention remembered when he and Cashin Lo were whittling wood, expressing on the surface. He said he completely gave up touching a sword. He subtly realized. He looked towards the knights holding swords, Shention said, but whenever the Duke's knights train, he can't take his eyes off them. In the past, Cashin Lo's eyes seemed to shine like sunlight. He regretted, with eyes lighting up like a child seeing a favorite toy, even though he said he had lost his soul. Back to the present, Kinemia Leon called Lo. He said gently, what is it, Fairy? She sat opposite him and asked seriously, have you ever thought about picking up a sword again? Cashin Lo frowned and did not answer. He questioned in return, did Master incite you to do this? Kinemia Leon was frank, Shention told me. On the table was the newly knitted hat and a cup of tea, she expressed. Everyone says that after losing Twen, you also gave up wielding a sword, but as someone who has used a sword before. No. Kinemia Leon looked directly into Cashin Lo's eyes, wanting to confirm. The truth is that you still want to pick up a sword, right? She sincerely suggested, if the reason is because you have not found a sword you like, I will make one for you. He sighed helplessly, Fairy. Cashin Lo explained, Twen was the most amazing sword on this continent, accompanying the leaders of Cashin through countless battlefields. It carries the history and soul of Cashin. It is my comrade. He turned away, dejected. There is no sword in this world that is more amazing than Twen. Kinemia Leon said resolutely. Then I will also make a sword that is just as amazing. Cashin Lo retorted, impossible. She remained steadfast, no, it is possible. Kinemia Leon determinedly suggested, I will make it, unless you are afraid, or else just try it. He frowned pensively without replying. He said firmly, no matter what sword you give me, I will not use it. She ignored him, maintaining her point of view. You really are as stubborn as everyone says. Well then, let us see. Kinemia Leon challenged, I want to have a sword fight with you. Cashin Lo was stunned and could not believe it. What? She made a decision. You know that you can't refuse a sword fight, right? Only 3 strikes, no magic allowed. Here, sword fighting is a tradition of the desert region. Once a challenge is made, the fight must take place until the challenger surrenders. He did not want to opposing, but Fairy, this fight is absurd. Cashin Lo was worried and surprised, advising, you cannot defeat me. Kinemia Leon refuted. How can you know the result without fighting? She smiled confidently. I trust my people. Kinemia Leon said proudly and determinedly. They will definitely make a sword that surpasses Twen. On the other side, the Behemoth sisters were stunned, confused. Hey. Lana Behemoth coldly refused. We are out. Like a bolt from the blue. She was shocked and dejected, only saying ha with a sorrowful tone. Sayer Behemoth was sweating, shouting loudly in confusion and disbelief. A sword that surpasses the legendary Twen. Impossible, never ever, just thinking about it feels insulting. She was tearing her hair, crying in regret. Too cruel. We did not even have a chance to touch it before it shattered into pieces. Kinemia Leon reassured. Slowly, you two, calm down and look at this first. The Behemoth sisters listened silently. A basket of mithril was placed in front of the two. The sisters wondered. This is. Lana Behemoth sat down and poked at it curiously. Sayer Behemoth exclaimed, I have never seen a mineral with this color before. She explained, this is mithril newly discovered in that mine. Kinemia Leon encouraged, I want you to use it to forge a sword for me. Don't put pressure on yourselves. Just treat it as an experiment with a new material. The two sisters looked at each other excitedly. The two seemed to understand, smiling confidently. The sisters were excited. New or, that is interesting, I will try. She was happy, thank you. She looked at the pile of boxes next to her, curious, and what is this, she realized. A sparkling, pretty bracelet appeared. Sayer Behemoth explained, bracelets for the upcoming bond relationship holiday. It is a special gift included with slime purchases. She bent down to Kinemia Leon and suggested, Your Highness, do you have anyone you want to give a gift to? I can make a few for you. She muttered thoughtfully, a friend, can I choose the color? Kinemia Leon was holding a gift box in her hand. She hesitated outside the door, secretly thinking, when I heard about a friend, I immediately thought of. Kinemia Leon nervously and anxiously thought, will he like it? I just hope he does not throw it out the window like last time. She saw Ian Krotz walking out of the room, shyly, she internally ah-hayed. Kinemia Leon tentatively hid behind a nearby pillar, thinking, target acquired. She held the gift box hesitantly, shyly thinking, I always tease him, so I am a little embarrassed to give him a gift now. Kinemia Leon sighed dejectedly, how do I give it to him now? He appeared from behind, smiling brightly, good morning, Miss Mia. She jumped in shock and shouted, triple. The gift box in her hand also fell. Kinemia Leon scolded angrily, don't scare me like that, Ian, where did you come from? Ian Krotz said nonchalantly, I sensed you were nearby, so I teleported here. The bracelet lay alone on the ground. He bent down to pick it up, wondering, what is this? She stammered awkwardly. This, I was flustered. I did not want to give it to him now. Kinemia Leon explained, oh, I heard that today is the holiday of relationships. Ian Krotz's face darkened. It is the day friends give each other bracelets, in his head. He wondered suspiciously, don't tell me it is. Ian Krotz asked coldly, did that monkey give it to you? Kinemia Leon was flustered. What monkey, Lo? She said, no one gave it to me, this is for you. Ian Krotz was surprised. Kinemia Leon emphasized, I made it to give to you. Hearing this, Ian Krotz's face flushed red. He asked again, for me? Kinemia Leon replied shyly, when I heard that today is a day to give gifts to friends. She blushed and lowered her head, continuing, I thought of you, Ian. Ian Krotz was silent. Kinemia Leon anxiously thought, why is not he saying anything? She spoke up, it looks like a children's toy, does not it? If you do not like it, do not throw it away. But Ian Krotz did not think so, he praised, it is beautiful. Ian Krotz approached Kinemia Leon, he said excitedly, this bracelet is so beautiful, I want it. Kinemia Leon could not help but feel shy. She was joyful, I am glad you like it. Ian Krotz suggested, put it on my hand for me, Mia. Kinemia Leon replied, Ian Krotz gently watched her put the bracelet on his wrist. He shared, this is the first time I have had a friend, what about you, Mia? Kinemia Leon replied, me too. The maids standing outside the door sobbed to each other. Our miss finally has a friend. It was not in vain waiting for this precious moment, so touching. They called out to Vanessa, Vanessa, come here, you need to see this wonderful scene up close. Vanessa replied, wait a moment, I can't hold back my tears. She looked up and saw something, exclaiming in surprise, There was a butterfly flying in the air. Vanessa was a little surprised, winter is here, but we can still see a butterfly. Cashin Lo held a sword. His eyes were firm. Kinemia Leon was a little flustered at the scene before her. She thought to herself, it seems to be related to swordsmanship, even though Lo is wearing elegant clothes. Ian Krotz approached, calling Mia. Kinemia Leon replied, He gave her a bright smile, messaging, if you want to deal with that monkey, just tell me, I will take care of everything for you. Kinemia Leon was helpless. Calm down, Ian. Kinemia Leon asked, anyway, how are you feeling today? She felt a little worried in her heart. I feel like you have not been very well lately. Ian Krotz replied, I am fine because Mia cares about me. He raised his hand with a bracelet on it, saying excitedly, because I am wearing this friendship bracelet, I feel much better. Kinemia Leon replied joyfully, I am happy that you like it. Ian Krotz turned serious and asked, so, what is your real plan? I am too curious. Kinemia Leon only smiled, saying, it is a secret. She walked towards Cashin Lo. Kinemia Leon spoke first, Behemoth is currently producing that sword called Bone Sword, what do you think, Lo? Lo replied, pretty good, but it can't be better than Twen. Kinemia Leon agreed, I know. She slowly drew her sword, even so. Kinemia Leon confirmed, I guarantee you, this sword will be better than Twen. Lo looked at her in surprise. He asked, is this the new sword that you promised to make for me? Kinemia Leon replied, yeah, it is that. A sword with a special blue color. A sharp source of energy. Meticulously forged and compact. Lo frowned, thinking it looks grandiose, but... He said directly, a good sword does not mean you will definitely win. Lo continued, I will be direct, Fairy, the difference in our strength is too great. Besides, you are too small. The voice echoed throughout the room. You will never be a strong swordswoman, unlike me, who was born with a healthy and big body. But Kinemia Leon did not pay attention. She spoke up, if you stop trying to provoke me, we will start. Kinemia Leon raised her sword and prepared for a fighting stance. She affirmed, I will prove to you that this sword is good enough to overcome the difference in strength. Lo sighed, she is really serious. He thought about Kinemia Leon, no magic, end in 3 sword strikes. Lo considered, I will withstand 2 strikes and block the 3rd strike. He told himself, I have to control my strength so I do not hurt her. At this moment, Kinemia Leon suddenly rushed towards Lo. Lo thought in surprise, what? Looking at the sword, he exclaimed, the endurance of this sword. Suddenly Kinemia Leon swung her sword. She dashed behind Lo, who was still dazed. His sword fell to the ground. Lo was still surprised, the sword. Looking at the broken sword in his hand, he exclaimed, it is broken. Kinemia Leon probed, how is it, the Duke Leon's new sword? Lo regained his composure, turning to ask, Fairy, that sword, what exactly is it? Kinemia Leon replied, it is made from a newly discovered mineral called mithril. She teased, well, do you still think there is no sword in the world better than Twen? Lo looked at her silently. He shook his head, I completely lost. My prejudices have collapsed. Lo continued, please forgive me, Fairy. Kinemia Leon held the sword, saying gently, if you want to apologize, then take this sword, and let us find the scattered members of Nightfall. I will help you. She suggested, become a knight of Duke Leon Lo. Lo replied, it would be my honor to serve the Fairy, but I do not know if I am worthy of it. Lo continued, because of my stubbornness, and because my comrades have been scattered, frankly, I do not know how to face them. Kinemia Leon asked gently, do you know what your expression was like when you saw this sword, Lo? She continued, it is like my brother's expression when he first saw the orphanage. Lo froze. Kinemia Leon went on, I completely understand your pain of losing Twen. To Nyang Papa, Twen is not just a sword, but also a comrade, but she shared, I think Twen would definitely understand. The image of Lo holding the new sword appeared. How brightly Nyang Papa will shine when he holds another sword. Lo widened his eyes in surprise at Kinemia Leon's words. Wouldn't Twen also be happy if Nyang Papa found a new companion? Meeting a new friend does not mean forgetting the old one. Kinemia Leon smiled and continued. Just like Nyang Papa always treasures Twen, right? Lo was silent for a moment, then knelt down saying, I, Kshan Lo. He bowed at this oasis. I swear to be loyal to Duchess Kinemia Leon. Kinemia Leon was flustered. Is this a swordsman's oath? She was a little panicked. Wait, Lo, does a swordsman's oath mean that you will dedicate your whole life to me forever? She thought. I am just trying to sign a contract with the Nightfall Guild. Lo replied, you do not want it, then I have no choice. He held the broken sword up towards himself, saying, if the master refuses, then I can only die. Kinemia Leon was helpless. This method is too extreme. Lo expressed, after hearing the fairy's words, I thought about what Twen must have felt. He thought of Twen, continuing, Twen is a royal sword, it may be difficult to use at first, but if you face it with trust, it will give its master everything it has, responding to their expectations. Lo concluded, so, as Twen did, I want to offer you everything that I have, Fairy. Hearing this, Kinemia Leon looked at Lo in surprise. Lo again raised the sword towards himself, saying, however, if the master refuses the oath of my life, Kinemia Leon shouted to stop him. I accept it, okay. She made a contemplating look. Well, I will agree to your oath. Kinemia Leon handed the sword to Lo, saying, Kshan Lo, I give you this sword. Lo bowed his head and accepted it, thanking yes. Kinemia Leon instructed, you can rest now. Starting tomorrow, as the leader of Nightfall, you will have a lot to do. Lo replied, understood, I am looking forward to serving the fairy. Kinemia Leon excitedly thought, thinking about being able to keep the strongest combat guild, I have passed another stage. Now I am going to be rich with magic stones. She happily looked for Ian Krotz. Kinemia Leon called, Ian, why are you so quiet? Do you think my plan went smoothly? Suddenly she froze. Ian Krotz was lying motionless on the floor. She called, Ian. That night, Kinemia Leon stayed by Ian Krotz's bedside. She suddenly looked ahead. Shintian rushed in. Kid, I have been waiting for you. Kinemia Leon called, brother. Shintian asked, what is wrong with him? Kinemia Leon replied, I do not know. When I found him, he had already fainted. She conveniently asked for help. Can you help me check the wound on his side now? It has not been treated for a long time. Shintian replied, understood. He said, we need divine medicine. Kinemia Leon said hesitantly. The problem is that wound can't be treated with divine medicine. She exclaimed in surprise, huh? Looking at Ian Krotz's wound, Kinemia Leon asked suspiciously, the wound has been healed. She continued, it should have been healing slowly because of the curse, and divine medicine should not have worked. Shintian looked at it for a while, replying, I do not know why I lied to you, but he tore this wound open many times himself. He thought he is really crazy. Shintian continued, there must be a reason why he did not want to treat it. Kinemia Leon was still surprised. She recalled their conversation earlier in the jail cell, until his side is completely healed. Her eyes drooped sadly. Shintian continued, but maybe this wound is not why he fainted. He asked, has he looked unwell lately, or has he been acting strangely? Kinemia Leon replied, yes, he has been having headaches recently. She continued, and he often feels that his joints are stiff. Shintian nodded, understood. He concluded, I do not know much, but it seems like he is about to undergo his second awakening as a mage. Kinemia Leon asked, second awakening? Ian Krotz was still lying unconscious. Shintian replied, simply put, it is a stage where a mage's magical power develops explosively. His body could not withstand the sudden surge of magic, so it was damaged. He also reassured, it is a natural process for mages, do not worry too much. He will wake up soon. Kinemia Leon exclaimed in relief. That is a relief. Shintian walked to the door, saying, I will go prepare some medicine to help him recover his energy. Kinemia Leon replied, thank you, brother. She still sat there silently, waiting. Kinemia Leon pondered. So he had always been keeping the wound open, because he thought that once it was healed, I would abandon him. She clutched her dress tightly, softly exclaiming, Ian. Suddenly a voice spoke softly, you idiot, hey, making Kinemia Leon look up in surprise. Ian Krotz was still unconscious, but he was constantly mumbling numbers 99, 98. Kinemia Leon looked at him in shock, thinking this is. In Ian Krotz's thoughts he worried. Could it be that they really left me and will never come back? Beautiful memories flashed through his mind. Even so, I will keep waiting. No matter how many days pass, I will keep counting over and over again to 100. Ian Krotz continued counting, 87. Kinemia Leon took his hand, comforting, it is okay, Ian. She climbed up and lay next to Ian, gently patting him. I will never abandon you. In a dream under a tree, the counting sounded, 15, 9, 6, 5. That counting continued to sound. For there was a person wearing black shoes standing under the tree. 3. Ian was blindfolded with a black scarf, standing under the tree continuously counting. The road was empty, and it was dark all around. 2. 1. He suddenly opened his eyes. That dream again, why do I keep having that damn dream, he thought in his head. No matter how much I count, there is never anyone there. Suddenly a sound rang out next to him. He turned his head to look. He saw the scene before his eyes and immediately froze. Mia, she was sleeping next to him. Is this also a dream? She woke up. Why is Mia here? He reached out to touch her hair. Suddenly she sat up. Ian, you are awake. How are you feeling? Are you okay? She asked him worriedly. Of course I am fine. Did I make you worry? He smiled lightly, asking back. She rushed into his arms and hugged him. He froze for a moment. He suddenly fainted. Do you know how much you scared me? He heard this and was quite surprised. I heard that the second awakening is very painful. Why did not you tell me? She was still hugging him and talking non-stop. He could only be silent without saying anything. Sorry for making you worry, it is just a cold, it is nothing serious. He said gloomily, but Mia has been taking care of me all night. She had let go of him, he asked. Why is the miss so nice all of a sudden? Haha, did I do something wrong? The morning sun shone into the room. She hesitated, not daring to say everything. I was so worried about you. Her face clearly showed worry. So if you feel pain or feel unwell, then say it. Okay, he paused after hearing this. No matter what happens, I will solve it for you. Ah, that is right, she continued. I need to call a doctor to check you, she said, turning to get out of bed. You must be hungry too, let me prepare some food. Suddenly he grabbed her hand. Can the miss be like this for a little longer? She turned to look at him with surprised eyes. Please, his eyes drooped, and his face started to turn red. She turned back and stared at him in a daze. Switching scenes to the living room area. Oh, so this brat really said that and kept her there. A voice sounded. Oh my, on the window there is a small yellow bird singing right next to the living room. Finally started acting like a human, that is great. The door suddenly opened. Sorry to have kept you waiting, I am Kinemia Leon. She walked in wearing a white dress. It is a pleasure to meet the esteemed magic ruler. Ulfriman turned to look at her. It is my honor to meet the new wings of Leon instead. He spoke in response. She thought to herself, the master of the tower has come here in person, so Ian really is a Rikasha. The king of mages, the master of the magic tower. Ulfriman, leader of the powerful mage army, dominating the entire continent, although he had to maintain concentration according to the wishes of the first master of the tower. The surrounding scenery looked really luxurious. But he still looks quite young, she wondered. In reality, he must be the age of my grandfather. He was still smiling at her. It is a rare opportunity to welcome the master of the tower like this. I have to try my best, she worried, clasping her hands together. I sincerely apologize for Ian's matter. The people of the Grand Duchy will do their best to help him recover. He spoke first. There is no need to worry too much. No mage has ever died from the second awakening. He pointed to the table. Sit down and talk. Yes, thank you, sir, she replied politely. Ulfriman reached out to stop Kinemia. Wait a moment. She was bowing her body, preparing to sit on the chair opposite him when she stopped. Ulfriman pointed to the chair right next to him, smiling warmly. Why do not you sit on this side? Kinemia, not knowing what was happening, cautiously went to sit on that chair. Yes. She quickly adjusted her mood, putting on a standard smile. I will prepare some tea, Tower Master. What kind of tea would you like? Ulfriman interrupted her grandfather. Kinemia was confused. What? He kept his smile that was brighter than a flower, turning to her. Call me grandfather. Tower Master sounds so distant. She stammered, asking again, grandfather. Ulfriman said nonchalantly, isn't it better? It sounds nice and close. And I have always wanted a granddaughter for a long time. Kinemia hesitated. Okay, she thought to herself. I mean if the Tower Master really wants it that way. She gently glanced at Ulfriman, shyly trying to call, grandfather. Kinemia's cuteness made him unable to restrain himself and he cried tears of happiness. Oh my, so cute, you really called me grandfather. She thought frantically, he is crying, is he really okay? Kinemia softly thanked him for the praise. Thank you for your kindness, sir. Ulfriman smiled kindly, thinking to himself, the closer I look, the cuter this kid is. Before I could only see from afar in the form of a lark, but when I meet her in human form, I can see that she is an admirable and strong little kid, and also polite. Thanks to this little girl, I can even see Ian doing more human-like actions. Thinking of the image of Ian messing with yarn, Ulfriman chuckled softly. Kinemia, sitting next to him, looked at him smiling without understanding what was happening. While pondering, Ulfriman remembered, I have a request. Kinemia listened attentively to him. Ulfriman gently suggested, I want to stay here for a few days to take care of Ian. Okay, Kinemia happily agreed. Of course, I will definitely prepare everything well so that you are comfortable. He smiled lightly, very grateful. I will temporarily leave it to you, miss. The sky was clear, the clouds drifted lazily. The green trees spread their canopy widely. The warm sunshine shone on every corner of this place. It seemed that every day would pass peacefully like. Contrary to the above scene, a dark and narrow room appeared. The flickering candlelight and the lanterns reluctantly maintaining the brightness. The surrounding room was full of objects depicting butterflies. Ryan punched the wall hard. Damn it. He resentfully thought, Kinema Leon, why is not she affected by magic? What the hell, how is that possible? Ian Krotz, that guy must have prepared in advance. Thinking of this, Ryan frowned. At least that proves that the Duchess is important to him. Very good. He summoned a type of butterfly, secretly calculating, troublesome. Then there is no other way than that. Ryan ordered it, summon the mages under my command. We have to buy time, so only call those with the best abilities and bring me a strand of hair from the person closest next to the Duchess here. The butterflies flew towards Kinemia's mansion. They flew to get Vanessa's hair. Night had fallen at the Leon mansion. Lights were strung all over, showing a cheerful atmosphere. The streets were bustling with people passing by. Kinemia worriedly asked Ian softly, "Ian, are you really okay? Can we go out and play?" He looked down the street saying softly, I am fine but..." Ian closed his eyes wearily. "Why do we have to wear this troublesome outfit?" Kinemia patiently explained, "Today is the day the spirits return. Wearing this can help the dead enjoy themselves comfortably." He clearly did not care much, replying vaguely, The servant whispered, announcing, "Miss, we are ready." Kinemia replied politely, "Thank you." She raised her voice and exclaimed, "Tada!" After seeing Kinemia, Ian seemed unable to take his eyes away. Kinemia happily said to him, "Ian, it is a matching outfit, today's theme, cute little vampires." She asked with a tone full of expectation, "What do you think?" Ian stared at Kinemia, blushing and hesitating. "Really?" The sisters Sayer and Lana interrupted him, praising Kinemia with wide smiles, "So cute." She turned to look at the two, drawing out her voice, "Cute." Sayer and Lana quickly replied, Kinemia mischievously raised her claws, "If you two do not give me candy, I will bite you, understand?" The two people were fascinated by the cuteness, one offering candy and the other vying for the chance to be bitten by the little demon Kinemia. "Please, take this pile of candy and bite me." "No, bite me." Kinemia sulked, "You are supposed to be scared, and besides, if I receive the candy, why would I bite?" Sayer and Lana regretted, "Can't I want to be bitten." She turned to instruct Ian, "Now then, Ian, you have to threaten to get candy." He understood very quickly, threaten, understood. Ian glared, radiating a threatening aura. "Give me candy, or I will kill everyone here, except for Mia." Sayer and Lana were not afraid, teasingly shouting, "Triple. So cute, come kill me." "Now then, Rikasha, give me candy too." The two were casually joking with Ian. Kinemia standing nearby was quite worried, thinking to herself with concern, "Ian seems serious, right? It can't be, right?" After joking around, Sayer suddenly remembered something important. Duchess, I have something I want to give you." Kinemia was curious. What is it?" A small, sparkling dagger appeared. "Here, please accept this." It was what Sayer Behemoth wanted to give Kinemia Leon. Seeing the dagger, she could not help but exclaim in surprise, "Oh my, so pretty. Is it a dagger?" Lana Behemoth replied, "That is right. I made it from the remaining mithril, to express our gratitude for the generous reward money you gave." As she was presenting it, Sayer Behemoth covered her mouth, then she continued, "Anyway, we owe the miss a lot, right? Please accept it. I made it so you can wear it as a necklace." Kinemia Leon looked at the small dagger and confessed, "Not a bad idea, right? I intentionally made it like a piece of jewelry." The quiet late night was filled with the sound of, "I like it a lot, thank you too." "We are the ones who need to thank you, miss. Have fun playing." Kinemia Leon and Ian Krotz left the palace. She was beaming with joy. "I only met the Behemoth sisters, and my basket is already full of candy." "Here, this too." Ian Krotz dropped 2 purple lumps into Kinemia Leon's basket. She widened her eyes in wonder. Why are you giving it to me?" He replied, "It is because you are cute, is not it just because you are lovable." Kinemia Leon was embarrassed and did not know what to say. "I have to take all the candy out before meeting Hai Min 1. Do you want to come along, Ian?" Ian Krotz looked up, At that moment, fireworks suddenly appeared in the sky. He had an idea. "Why do not Mia go first? I have some things to do now. I will follow right away when I am done." She was a little skeptical but still agreed, "All right." Ian Krotz leaned close and instructed, "The miss must be well behaved when I am not with you, okay?" Kinemia Leon blankly replied, "Of course. Do you think I am a child?" "All right, remember to hurry up," he reminded her while waving goodbye. "I will be there soon, Mia." Kinemia Leon still had questions in her head. What does he have to do? Is something wrong? At another palace, sound rang out, "Vanessa, are you in there?" She opened the door and poked her head in, calling her name, "Vanessa. You are here. Why did not you answer? I thought you had gone out." That was Kinemia Leon's question. Vanessa turned her head and smiled. Kinemia Leon approached her and spoke, "Vanessa, there is something. I am trying to take out all this candy. Is there somewhere to put it?" Vanessa grabbed her hands with both of her own and exclaimed, "Miss, why are your hands so cold? Sit down here and drink a cup of hot tea before you go." Kinemia Leon was surprised by her thoughts. Vanessa's hands are too cold. "I will drink it later. Ian will be here soon." She requested, "Please drink the tea." Vanessa said while pouring tea, "It is better to drink it while it is hot." Kinemia Leon stammered, "Vanessa, are you okay? Your hands are too cold." She was still pouring tea diligently. While she was wondering, Vanessa tilted her head and hesitated. "Miss. Run." Kinemia Leon still did not understand what was happening. "You can't drink this." She put down the teacup, splashing water on her hands. Then Vanessa pleaded again, please drink the tea. Kinemia Leon's eyes widened in daze. She felt that something was wrong, so she turned around 360 degrees and ran, making Vanessa flustered. Duchess, Kinemia Leon ran away but stopped at the call. She turned her head, Vanessa constantly persuaded, drink some tea, it is not poison, why are you so tense? Realizing she could not persuade her, she took a knife and held it to her neck, threatening, if you do not drink now, I will kill this woman. The knife was held close to Vanessa's neck, but what was noteworthy was the blue butterfly flying around the teacup. It seemed to be Ryan's animal. Kinemia Leon observed the butterfly, thinking, the butterfly, is it controlling Vanessa? Who on earth could do this? She shifted her gaze to the cup of tea in Vanessa's hand. It seemed that it really was not poison. If the purpose is to kill me, perhaps they would use a knife instead of tea like this. While Kinemia Leon was thinking, she urged, don't dawdle, drink it. They would be fine without her, right? She closed her eyes, flustered, all right. Kinemia Leon reached out to take the teacup, I will drink. Outside, the trees swayed, the wind blew coldly and gloomily. A figure lay on the ground, a figure sat slumped down. The blue-haired young man grimaced in pain. Ugh, the other party said. You said you would take revenge for your brother. A foot pressed his head straight into the ground. Was it all your plan? It turned out that the foot belonged to Ian Krotz. He continued, I was expecting something more interesting, what a disappointment. I was going to ignore the scratches on my body, but despite his head still being under Ian Krotz's foot, the blue-haired young man still said loudly, Ian Krotz. You monster, he was surprised, oh. Ian Krotz stomped down harder and said, you brothers are really alike. On the day your brother attacked me, he also said the same thing. He stammered, a little more, just a little more. Calling me a monster and stuff, the blue-haired young man said internally. The appointed time is coming soon. The space suddenly fell silent with unsaid thoughts brewing in their heads. Ian Krotz tilted his head suspiciously. He glanced at the two people in Frank's army who were sitting slumped on the ground, wondering, what is this? These guys should be attacking me now, but they are intentionally dragging it out. It is like they are stalling to separate me from someone. The blue-haired young man struggled and shook his head under Ian Krotz's foot. His eyes widened as if he suddenly remembered something. Kinemia Leon's figure appeared in Ian Krotz's head. Don't tell me, Mia. He continued to press down harder on the blue-haired young man's head, interrogating, what have you done to Mia? Frank's brother, lying on the ground, although defeated, still smiled mockingly. It is too late. He said triumphantly, the appointed time has come. As soon as he finished speaking, the large bell rang. Ian Krotz widened his eyes in shock and realized. In a gloomy room. The space was dark, full of hanging chains. Kinemia Leon lowered her head, her face sad and dejected. In the room full of weapons, she thought somberly, where is this? Her hands were chained, Kinemia Leon was stunned, what is this? She thought in panic and confusion, I am tied up. A person entered and spoke, ah, you are awake. Ryan sneered, emphasizing Duchess Leon. Kinemia Leon faced him, wondering in her heart, I have never met this person before. Who is he? She asked him, where's Vanessa? He replied nonchalantly, Vanessa. Ah, perhaps she is sleeping peacefully in the Grand Duchy. She widened her eyes in confusion. Kinemia Leon negotiated amicably, what do you want, money or land? If it is a family feud, I am willing to compensate. Ryan laughed heartily. He stepped forward and opened a box, expressing, do you think a high-ranking noble mage like me would need such trivial things? Miss, you know nothing about this world. She was tied up and sitting opposite him. Ryan questioned, Ian never told you about this mage. Kinemia Leon looked up, wondering in her heart, Ian. She worriedly thought, could it be that they captured me because they have a grudge against Ian? He opened the box and smiled cunningly, recounting Ian once said. In the box were pliers, knives, needles, he said coldly, killing is really easy. Ryan sat on the chair, threatening, from the moment that monster gouged out my right eye. I have always waited for this day. I can't let you die so easily. Kinemia Leon cursed inwardly. That person, he has lost his mind. She secretly thought of a way. I have to find a way to escape from here. Calmly thinking, there must be a way to escape. He slowly picked up the pliers. Kinemia Leon looked gloomily at the chains, thinking, first, I need to find a way to cut this off. Her hands were tied tightly, she realized the way, the necklace. Kinemia hesitated and feared, with this, I can cut the chains, but... She secretly calculated, if I move, it will make noise. Kinemia Leon pretended to be pitiful, pleading, please, I was wrong. Ryan turned back to look. She lowered her head, pretending to be frightened and trembling, please save me, Mom. He ignored her, turning away. Too noisy, this is why children are so annoying. Kinemia Leon was still acting. Hick, I am so scared. Her eyes were sharp, her mouth still pleading, save me, deciding inwardly. I can't delay or hesitate for a second anymore. Kinemia Leon lowered her head and pretended to sob. Hick, hick, Ryan scolded in annoyance, how awful. He smiled ghoulishly and pervertedly. Ian, that damnable monster, she grasped, must be quick and accurate. Ryan was startled, frowning in confusion. Kinemia Leon attacked as fast as lightning. He was attacked unexpectedly in the eye, falling back and screaming in pain. She took her hands off the chains. Ryan roared in anger, you little. One hand covered his bleeding eye. The other lunged to grab Kinemia Leon. Ryan shouted resentfully, where are you going? She deftly dodged. He angrily ordered, come here immediately. Kinemia Leon ran quickly to the door and escaped. Ryan painfully covered his eye, watching her go angrily. Where are you going? She quickly escaped the burning room. He tried to roar inside. Come here immediately. Ryan sat down weakly, his hand conjuring several butterflies, his mouth constantly cursing. He ordered, catch her immediately, at all costs. Kinemia Leon tried her best to escape. She glanced to the side, suddenly realizing. Outside the window, a butterfly was watching. Kinemia Leon thought in panic, butterflies, I have to hide it. She turned to another room. Looking back, Ryan said smugly, it is useless to run. He threatened, if I find you, you are dead. Kinemia Leon covered her mouth, panting, thinking, Ian, where are you? She secretly cried for help, please save me. There were bloody footprints all over the floor. Ryan groaned, ugh. He sat down trembling. The butterflies flew around him, scolding, you damn brat, hurry up, bring the Duchess here. Ryan roared at the butterflies. What is so difficult about finding a brat? I won't let you leave here with her. He said coldly with hatred, once you find them, kill them all for me. A voice called Leon. Those feet gradually approached. The person questioned, what have you done to Mia? Ryan broke out in a cold sweat, turning back in fear, ugh. It was Ian Krotz looking coldly. He realized in panic, Ian Krotz. Facing him, Ryan sat on the ground and retreated in fear, thinking, why is he here? Could it be that they were all captured, a bunch of useless idiots? He feared and regretted. I have not even done anything to the Duchess yet. Ryan was filled with murderous intent, gritting his teeth. I asked you, what have you done to Mia? He was sweating, speechless in shock. Ryan was sweating like rain, smiling awkwardly, while thinking in his head He spoke provocatively, you think you must be very worried, right? Provoked, Ian Krotz looked cold, like he wanted to kill the other party. Ryan felt like he had been struck by a shock, screaming in pain. Ian Krotz, with a somber face, controlled his magic to attack Ryan while asking Mia, where are you? Answer me. Ryan was panting, smirking. He tensely searched for Kinemia Leon. Where are you, Mia? Ryan's eyes were bloodshot, sweat pouring out thickly, laughing madly when he saw Ian Krotz's appearance. Ha 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 ha, an anxious face. Agitated to the point of getting sick, a face full of worry. He recalled the image of an arrogant Ian Krotz, with a look that despised the whole world. The image of him being welcomed, an Ian Krotz. Ryan secretly resented Ian Krotz's cold appearance, always ignoring me like I was invisible, that Ian Krotz. He jealously thought, the position of the next generation's owner of the magic tower should have belonged to me if you had not appeared. Ryan said, the Duchess is dead. That sentence made Ian Krotz stand there in shock. He widened his eyes, his expression stunned. Ian Krotz was shocked. The chair was overturned. There was blood everywhere, Ryan said with a provocative tone. Don't you see the blood? Did you think I would let her go? His fist stopped when he heard him say, she was trembling in agony. The last words she said were. Ryan smiled sinisterly. If only I had never met Ian Krotz. Then this would not have happened. Ian Krotz was horrified, like a bolt from the blue. He unleashed his power, causing a big explosion. Lightning shot out everywhere, smoke billowed. Ian Krotz stood there, his red cloak swaying slightly. Under his feet were pools of blood, surrounded by black gas. The places he stepped on left bloody footprints, thick, terrible streaks of black gas. In the dark, murderous room, he called, Mia, Mia. Ian Krotz slowly walked towards the dark hallway, calling Kinemia Leon as he walked. Mia, where are you? Outside, people were walking busily. Ulframan appeared with a cold expression. Benjamin flew next to him, gently calling, Tower Master. He held a scepter, standing in the magic tower, talking to him. A gloomy day. Benjamin, you feel it too, right? Benjamin replied, yes, what the hell is going on? He observed the sky, quickly realizing something unusual. The sky is dark and the energy is terrifying. Originally, the sky was also dark today, so ordinary people do not seem to realize it. Benjamin asked Tower Master, "It is not due to magic, right?" Ulfriman closed his eyes, his face troubled. "Yeah." He made a guess. "Is it because of Ian Krotz?" This time he did not reply, his eyes thoughtful, not knowing what he was thinking. Benjamin looked at Ulfriman raising the scepter, his face full of blankness. He wondered, "Tower Master." The scepter radiated beautiful blue spots of light. He replied, "I am going to find Ian. Ulfriman entrusted, while I am gone, take over as regent for me." He turned back to look at him, saying softly, "Okay, I will leave it to you then." Benjamin watched Ulfriman disappear, replying seriously, "Yes, Tower Master, please be careful." Returning to the dark castle, the dimly lit lamps made the place even more frightening. Outside the window, the sky was as dark as ink. Kinemia Leon was afraid. Why is it suddenly so dark? She walked down the gloomy hallway, shivering and hugging her body tightly. It seems even colder. Kinemia Leon thought to herself, "Thank goodness I do not see any butterflies, but I have been walking around for more than 30 minutes and still have not found a way out." Her eyes drooped, worrying in her heart, "At this rate, will I be stuck here forever?" Kinemia Leon clasped her hands tightly in front of her chest, shaking her head. "No, I can't think so weakly. Right now, Ian will definitely. He must have realized it already." Suddenly, a strange noise behind her startled her. Kinemia Leon turned around abruptly, footsteps. She only saw a dark, deep hallway with no end in sight. Who is it? Kinemia Leon frantically thought, could it be that guy from before? Her expression was stunned. Ian Krotz appeared suddenly with a terrifying face. His eyes wide open, staring ahead, a murderous aura surrounding his body. Kinemia Leon asked blankly, "Ian?" She asked again, "Ian, is that really you?" He confirmed dully, "Mia." Kinemia Leon thought to herself, "It really is Ian." She ran quickly towards him. "Ian, why are you so late?" Her eyes widened in shock. Ian Krotz did not say anything, tears just flowed out. Kinemia Leon was surprised. "Ian, are you crying?" She anxiously cupped his face, asking worriedly, "What is wrong? Why are you crying?" Kinemia Leon's caring words rang in Ian Krotz's ears. "What is wrong? Did the illness relapse? Are you in pain anywhere?" He suddenly hugged her tightly. Kinemia Leon was stunned. Ian Krotz opened his mouth to reply, "I did not believe." She asked him again, "Didn't believe what?" He buried his head in her neck and said, "Didn't believe you were dead." Kinemia Leon said angrily, "That guy said I was dead, daring to scare children like that, what a jerk." She gently put her hand up to hug Ian Krotz, comforting him. "Don't cry anymore, Ian." She whispered while hugging him, "I thought you came here because of me. I was going to get angry with you when I saw you, but now I can't get angry." Ian Krotz hugged her even tighter. "I am sorry." In the vast, gloomy mansion, only the voices of Kinemia Leon and Ian could be heard. "No, I do not mean I want you to apologize, I am sorry." He leaned on her shoulder and said, "I will do everything." Kinemia Leon heard Ian say that. She thought that he must have been very shocked. "I have to comfort him." Ian Krotz leaned his head on her shoulder. Suddenly Kinemia Leon seemed to see something. Ulfriman, the master of the magic tower, appeared. He said with some worry and surprise, "Kinemia." Looking at Ian Krotz hugging her, Ulfriman spoke, asking, "Why are you here?" He frowned slightly, seeming to suddenly realize something. "Ian does not look well, and the space is filled with Leon's magic. Kinemia is here." A hand on the ground was motionless. "Leon is dead, so." Ulfriman's voice rang out, "I think I know what happened. Are you hurt?" Kinemia Leon's voice replied, "I am fine, Ian is okay too." She continued, Tower Master, can I go back to the Grand Duchy now? I am worried about my nanny who was taken hostage." He replied, Ian quietly lowered his head, half of his face hidden by his hair, not knowing what he was thinking. Ulfriman looked at him and frowned in confusion. Kinemia Leon's voice rang out, "All right, let us go home." Ian and she left together. He suddenly called, "Ian." He turned his head slightly. Ulfriman closed his eyes helplessly and spoke, "Come to my room tomorrow. I have something to talk to you about." Ian was still silent. He hurriedly turned his head, drooping his eyes. His voice rang out, "Go back." A magnificent castle appeared in front of them. The space inside the castle was cool and quiet, filled with natural light outside the window frame. Ulfriman sat in the chair and said to Ian, "I will return to the magic tower." He said gently, "I will return to the magic tower in 2 days. Let us go together." He quietly lowered his head and thought, without replying. In the quiet room, Ian suddenly spoke, I still have some things to do here. Alferman's voice interrupted. You can't be by Kanemia's side anymore. His voice became increasingly harsh. Continuing like this will only put her in danger. Is this what you want? He only lowered his head sadly upon hearing this. Alferman sighed and reminded, when you are near Kanemia, you become too emotional. He sincerely shared. This is normal at a young age when emotions are not yet mature, but Ian. Alferman's voice became serious. It can't be like this. Ian was still silent, but his heart was flustered. Recalling the moment he caught Kanemia and him. His worried voice rang out, you know it too, right? If I had come a little later this time. Alferman said with concern and hesitation, moreover, your strength, I also know that. Ian finally replied dejectedly, I understand. He did not speak anymore but quietly looked at him. The expression on Ian's face was extremely sad. He drooped his eyes and pursed his lips, trying to restrain himself. Alferman closed his eyes slightly, resolutely in his heart, unfortunately, I can't be soft-hearted. A dangerous, gloomy image seemed to appear before his eyes. In his head, Alferman calculated, I still do not fully understand Ian's strength, and if the events of today were to repeat again. Suddenly Ian's voice rang out, cutting off his train of thought once. He clenched his fists slightly. I can control my strength, I can control myself. Ian's eyes became pleading. Then can I be with Kanemia? Alferman was a little surprised, turning to look at him and replying, only until then. Ian's heart was in turmoil. Even if it takes many years or even a lifetime, I can't be sure. His mind returned to the cheerful days. Ian remembered the fun night party at a castle. The image of a band singing passionately appeared. My friend, my love, the day of separation has come. Everyone danced together to the music. How can I forget the days we spent together? A boy and girl smiled happily at each other. They were happily immersed in the lyrics, because we all know we will meet again, so let us raise a glass to celebrate. The lyrics still echoed, instead of letting tears fall, let us look forward to the reunion. Ian stood still, observing everyone at the party. Suddenly he shifted his attention when he heard someone calling him, Ian. Ian saw Kanemia from afar. She waved at him and smiled extremely brightly, asking, did you wait long? He replied, it is okay, what did you buy? Kanemia happily replied, candy for the nanny, she has suffered a lot these past few days, so I wanted to give her a small gift. Thank goodness she is safe. The two were wearing today's clothing theme, picnic lady and knight. She suddenly grabbed Ian's hand, making him surprised and widening his eyes. Ah, look, what are everyone doing over there? Kanemia glanced at him with some embarrassment and spoke, let us go too. Ian softly replied to her, let us go, Mia. Lights were strung up, illuminating the sky. The fragrance of flowers spread sweetly in the night. Kanemia and Ian strolled together. They met a clown who conjured a small flower with a golden color similar to her hair. Kanemia received the flower with a carefree smile. Ian smiled gently and walked next to her. The two walked shoulder to shoulder. She softly spoke, it is so fun, we have probably seen everything. He replied sparingly, probably. Kanemia suddenly asked Ian, are you feeling better? He was surprised about what. He did not seem very happy. Her words made Ian freeze. Kanemia smiled sadly, if it is because of what happened that day, I am really okay. Vanessa is also very worried. Kanemia remembered the past. Vanessa cried and hugged her tightly. Miss, I am sorry, everyone is safe and no one was injured, right? Kanemia gently comforted him. In the past, she also gently comforted Vanessa. Vanessa, do not cry anymore. You know what to do now, right? Kanemia continued. And whenever I encounter sad or difficult things, I always remember a saying. Don't try to erase the painful memories, but instead, fill them with happiness. She closed her eyes and smiled lightly. He said that. In the past, Kanemia had also hugged Vanessa and said that. That incident must also be a not-so-happy memory for Ian, so let us fill it together with happy memories. Ian looked at her moved. Kanemia smiled brightly, turning to look at him. We still have a lot of happiness in the future, right? After hearing these words, Ian's eyes seemed unable to leave Kanemia's figure. He seemed to want to etch her into his mind. Ian hesitated. Mia. A loud noise rang out, attracting Kanemia's attention. She looked up at the sky. The fireworks are starting. Kanemia, while looking up at the sky for fireworks, said to Ian, let us go somewhere easier to see, we can't see clearly here. He said softly, hold on tight, Mia. Ian wrapped his arms around Kanemia's waist and flew up. While hovering in the air, she hurriedly wrapped her arms around his neck to steady herself. Seeing the scenery from a new perspective, Kanemia exclaimed from the bottom of her heart, wow, it is so beautiful. On the way to the clock tower, she turned to Ian, asking curiously, "Why at the clock tower?" He replied nonchalantly, "I thought this place was the best to watch the fireworks." Ian gently let Kinemia land on the tower's edge. After making sure she was standing firmly in a safe place, he lowered himself next to her. Ian watched Kinemia intently watching the fireworks. He asked softly, "How is it, can you see clearly?" She turned around, stunned to see the fireworks blooming behind the handsome young man who was gently smiling at her, softly asking, "How is it?" Kinemia's heart skipped a beat. She stared at the incredibly beautiful scene before her. When she realized, she turned her face quickly to another direction. This place is high and there is no one else, it is great." Ian sighed in relief. "That is good then." Kinemia was immersed in thought. "Is it because I was startled that my heart is beating so fast? It must be, right?" Ian called her seriously, "Mia." He announced unexpectedly, "I have decided to return to the magic tower." Kinemia was stunned by this news. She said dryly, when Ian said sternly, "Tomorrow when Master leaves, I will leave too." Kinemia was shocked. "Why so suddenly?" He smiled helplessly. "Something unexpected happened. I am sorry for telling you so late." She sadly lowered her eyes, thinking to herself, "I thought we would be together forever." Although he had been trying to push me away. Kinemia clenched her fists slightly. "You should have told me sooner." Ian apologized. "I am sorry, I did not have the courage." She accepted this fact, sadly saying logical words, "That is good. Anyway, it is time to go back. The Rikosha can't just leave the magic tower without anyone in charge forever." Ian was surprised to hear her say that. He drooped his eyes and teased her. "Aren't you going to beg me to stay? Let us go now then." Kinemia did not fall for the trap and replied straightly, "Are you planning to stay at my place forever? Then you have to pay rent." Ian suddenly made a request. "Mia, can I borrow your hand for a moment?" Kinemia was unclear but still put her hand out. He put a bracelet on her hand. Kinemia looked at the bracelet. "This is a friendship bracelet." Ian nodded. "That is right, a gift for you for Connection Day, although it is a little late." Kinemia looked at the small, pretty woolen strawberry, asking uncertainly, "Did Ian make it?" He softly replied, I learned from the sewing room." Ian received rigorous training from the maids in the sewing room. Kinemia looked at the bracelet, sincerely grateful. "It is so beautiful, thank you." Suddenly she realized something. She looked at the purple stone. "Isn't this the decoration on the bracelet that I gave you?" Ian smiled lightly. He raised his hand to reveal a bracelet on his wrist. "That is right, I swapped them, this one is mine." He looked down at the bracelet. "Every time I see this blue gem, I immediately think of you." Ian's hand touched the blue stone on his bracelet. "Therefore, I hope that every time you see it, you will also think of me." A look of loss suddenly appeared on his face. "Mia, what if you forget me?" Kinemia looked at him in shock. She hurriedly grabbed Ian's sleeve. "No." Fireworks bloomed right above their heads. Kinemia said confidently, "I will not forget you." She assured sincerely, "Never, I will never forget." Ian stared at her stunned. He smiled sincerely. Without knowing when, their hands had been placed together, conveying warmth to each other. Ian gently assured, I will be back soon, I will definitely return." Kinemia watched the fireworks blooming in the sky. The brilliant fireworks on the day they said goodbye to each other seemed to signal a promising future. "My friend. My love, the day of separation has come." She looked at Ian. "How can I forget the days we spent together? So instead of letting tears fall, let us raise a glass together." Looking forward to the reunion, the two were close together on the clock tower, watching the fireworks together. "Let us raise a glass together." 5 years later, the sky was blue and the sun was shining. Haimanwan was bustling with buyers and sellers. In the bustling market, the sound of vendors rang out. "Come and see everyone, we have a new magical medicine for sore throats, come and see." The salesperson asked the person opposite, "Medicine for fatigue, let me see." Then he continued, "Do you often feel hot and cold?" The sound of a man's footsteps approached. He thought to himself, "Gee, why is this place always so crowded? Can't they trade somewhere bigger?" He glanced around the crowd, thinking to himself, "Oh my, this place has been expanded many times. The medicine here is very effective, of course it is always crowded." Jimmy Golden walked down the hallway. "Isn't it great that the Duchess prioritizes selling to the people in the territory? I wonder who started the rumor that she is gradually becoming a villain." He stopped when he came to a door. Jimmy Golden looked around at something. Looking at the scene inside, he thought to himself, "It seems I have come to the right place." Then Jimmy Golden walked while contemplating. "The shops are so crowded that there is no room to step. No wonder the superiors are so worried." After a while of thinking, he made a decision. We must stop this momentum before Hymanwan's influence continues to expand further. Suddenly he stopped, his face horrified. Find that sly fox Shin Tian and deal with him immediately. Jimmy Golden stopped. Standing in front of him was a girl, holding a metal shovel in her hand. Kinemia spoke. What? He was surprised by her appearance. Jimmy Golden thought to himself, oh God, she spoke here. Kinemia Leon gently added, outsiders are not allowed to enter. He saw her beauty, admiring to himself. How can there be such a beautiful person in the world? She looked at him and asked again, did you hear me? Kinemia said indifferently, answer me. Jimmy Golden blanked out, saying huh, and then thought, with this appearance, she must be a worker here. So beautiful but doing work in the fields. He quickly introduced himself. I am Baron Jimmy Golden. I mistakenly wandered here, but because the garden in the back is so beautiful, so I stopped to admire the scenery for a moment. She drooped her eyes and said softly, Kinemia Leon replied indifferently. So what, didn't you hear clearly? Outsiders are forbidden from entering this garden. Jimmy Golden's expression changed, sweating, thinking to himself, normally, commoners would be terrified when they heard about nobles, but why is this little girl talking so comfortably? Is she so arrogant because of her beauty? He immediately explained, Miss, you must have misunderstood something. I really just wandered here. Footsteps approached, speaking, Miss. Shin Tian appeared behind him and said, how is the experiment going? Jimmy Golden turned back in panic, his face full of confusion. He exclaimed in surprise, Shin Tian Xinghai, why did he appear so suddenly? He looked somber, but Shin Tian wondered, who is this? Jimmy Golden stammered, I am Baron Jimmy Golden, but... She suddenly spoke, that intruder. Kinemia Leon continued, I think he is from the cult. He turned his head back surprised, thinking, how does she know? Jimmy Golden waved his hand and hurriedly explained, intruder what? Not at all. I just wandered around here a bit and then realized. Shin Tian narrowed his eyes and said coldly, there is a beautiful girl here, so I wanted to chat a little. You are so beautiful, talk to me for a bit, aha. His face froze, stiff as glue. Jimmy Golden scratched his head, his eyes darting around, saying, huh. His eyes glazed over and he collapsed. Over on the other side, she and Shen Tian looked at him unconscious on the ground. He spoke, selling a child is just to vent anger. Kinemia Leon asked suspiciously, did you kill him? Shen Tian replied, I just made him faint. At a wooden building with an antique style. Jimmy Golden was tied and controlled by two people. Kinemia Leon spoke, when will the cult get tired of this game? Shen Tian replied, by the way. After the Red Scourge cure was honored by Emperor Rongar, they have sent people here countless times, he said coldly. What is the Red Scourge? A fever epidemic spreading throughout the empire. Those who contract it will have flushed faces and die. The two dragged the unconscious person into the house. The voice echoed, unable to control the epidemic because they are not good enough, and distracting the Amen people. Those in the cult are always scheming bad things. It seems like they are worried because their position in the empire is gradually declining. She spoke to the man next to her, instead of sabotaging us, would not it be better if they focused on treating one more person? Shen Tian replied, this is a disease that spreads among commoners. What do you expect from a bunch of idiots who only prioritize treating the nobles? Kinemia Leon sighed and spoke, the Grand Duchy is also a problem. We need to control the Red Scourge as soon as possible. The conversation continued between the two. The vitality herb still has not reacted. That is right, there are no signs of sprouting. In order to produce more medicine to treat the Red Scourge, we need to quickly grow it successfully. Shen Tian continued. This plant originally grows in dungeons, so growing it outside will be difficult. He went on, plants are like people, leaving the place they belong to will definitely be difficult to accept. Kinemia Leon's expression darkened, she muttered in her mouth. I am sorry, Vitality Herb, you must miss your home a lot, you have suffered a lot. Shen Tian saw her strange actions and said in confusion, what are you doing all of a sudden, how weird. She said with a nonchalant tone, you said they are like people, so I thought they would listen if I talk nicely. He sighed upon hearing this and replied helplessly, Miss, those trees can't grow just because you do that. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps running heavily came. A scream rang out, Miss. She asked in surprise. Vanessa, the girl Vanessa, held an invitation and ran over breathlessly. Continuing, the invitation has arrived. Kinemia Leon replied upon hearing this invitation. There is no need for you to be so rushed just because of this. We can just send a letter of refusal like always. No, she explained breathlessly. This is not a normal invitation. Vanessa continued. It is an invitation to the debutante ball. She paused upon hearing this, her eyes wide. After a long time she asked blankly. Ah, what is it? Vanessa's voice rang out affirmingly, the debutante ball. The man who had been standing next to her spoke. Sounds great. Huh, she replied with delight. That is right, is not it great? That is why I was worried this invitation would not reach the Mrs. hands. An unusually long silence made the other two look back together and spoke. What is wrong? The whole sky seemed to collapse in Kinemia Leon's heart. She did not believe her ears and kept denying it. No, how come? Why did I receive an invitation? Why am I going to the debutante ball? She held her head, saying loudly with a dazed look, no. The coming-of-age ceremony for young ladies and gentlemen who have just reached adulthood. The debutante ball. In the Empire, every year, an influential noble of the time would be chosen to host the debutante ball. Only those who received an invitation from the host could participate. To receive this invitation, young ladies and gentlemen needed to attend community gatherings from a young age to build relationships. In the year they turned 17 and came of age, they would bring extravagant gifts to the host, using every means to curry favor. This was a type of custom in imperial society. But why? Holding the invitation in both hands, Kinemia Leon questioned herself. Why invite me when I have not done anything yet? Sunlight streamed through the trees and eaves, making them appear even more brilliant. On a small chair, there were teacups filled to the brim, and next to it was a plate with a few remaining pastries. Shen Tian was lying leisurely on the stool, next to the chair with the teapot and plate of pastries. Suddenly, a hand holding a gardening tool rose. The trowel stabbed into her invitation to the debutante ball. Shen Tian's sigh rang out freely. A moaning sound still echoed from that side. Shen Tian angrily got annoyed. Oh my god, the earth is about to collapse. How long are you going to sit there sulking? He walked over to Kinemia Leon, who was sitting curled up, and advised, isn't it a joyous thing to be invited to the debutante ball? Many people want to go but can't. Seize this opportunity to get to know friends of the same age. She spoke back with teary eyes. But society only knows Kinemia Leon as a duchess in name only. Nothing remains but the halo of the past. A scene from the past appeared in Kinemia Leon's mind. A recluse who can't integrate into the nobility. Was she ever a duchess? Key something Leon, right? People say that she stays cooped up in her territory all day and never comes out. Her eyes were unfocused, wringing her hands. They only invited me to watch me make a fool of myself by saying nonsense when I am worried. That is definitely what it is. Shen Tian comforted her gently. Those are just your speculations. Maybe they sent an invitation because they are genuinely curious about your identity. She shook her head repeatedly, replying no way. The man with stern and cold eyes appeared before Kinemia Leon, because Duke Roslin is the host of the debutante ball this year. Shen Tian thought of something, expressing if it is Roslin. Kinemia Leon interrupted to explain. Roslin, a prominent figure in the cult. She was anxiously restless as she remembered the image of facing the other person. I suspect he is also the reason behind the cult's withdrawal from the Grand Duchy in the past. It seems that the cult has planned to withdraw completely from the Grand Duchy. Kinemia Leon dejectedly sat down. In the current situation where Leon and the cult are in conflict over the Red Scourge, with Duke Roslin, a supporter of the cult, inviting Leon to the debutante ball, what does this mean? He guessed. Is it to control Leon? She confirmed that is right. Kinemia Leon confided. He even has a personal grudge against Leon. This is a historical story when Duke Roslin's daughter fell in love with Mia's father. She even cancelled her marriage and lost her business investment. Shen Tian rubbed his chin, thinking somberly. He said lazily, mumbling, so you can't not go, she sadly denied. It is very rude to receive an invitation and not attend. Shen Tian sat down next to her, stroking Kinemia Leon's head, encouraging, all right, then there is only the way to go all the way. Do your best, she hugged her knees, dejected, brother. He stroked Kinemia Leon's hair, comforting and encouraging, but you have to go anyway, so just try to have fun. If you get discouraged and can't fully enjoy yourself, would not that be a pity? Shen Tian tried to encourage her. Even if they are prejudiced against you, then you should just show your sincerity. Surely that will make them want to get to know you and have good feelings towards. She looked over while holding back tears. Kinemia Leon worried, maybe everyone will hate me. He asked calmly while looking into the distance, really. Shen Tian looked at the maids who were happily smiling and recommended. Look around, are not there many people who know that the miss is a good person? The nanny smiled brightly and happily. He gave specific examples, for example your nanny. The lords who were talking were also named. The lords and the Hymenwan family. Even the Behemoth sisters who were happy because of the new product were listed, the Behemoth sisters. The girls smiled happily. Even everyone in the territory. There are many people who understand the Mrs. true self. Shen Tian patted her shoulder encouragingly, enough to be ready to help when needed. The miss knows everyone loves you. She looked up. Kinemia Leon's eyes sparkled, widening in doubt. She was shy, her face flushed with embarrassment. Not brother, right? He sighed helplessly. If I did not like you, would I be willing to stay with you in this muddy field? I am very busy, you know. The two sat on the grass, confiding. Shen Tian did not stop confessing, and especially, there is someone who cherishes the miss very much. He exclaimed, speak of the devil and he appears. Kinemia Leon turned to look. Cashin Lo was like a wild beast, accelerating from the start, running over. She suddenly realized Lo. His eyes widened, a murderous aura emphasizing FAI. Cashin Lo said each word forcefully. Kinemia Leon stood up to look. He lunged to hug her, saying happily, I am back. She was hugged so tightly that she had to frown. The two held hands and spun around. Kinemia Leon was happy. You are back, is work okay? Yes, Cashin Lo replied warmly. I missed you so much, Fairy. Shen Tian stood in a corner, giving up, exclaiming like they were reunited after 10 years. They only met again after 3 days. He frowned worriedly. By the way, what are you talking about? Why does the fairy's face look so worried, being hit on the sore spot? She jumped and asked back, is it that obvious? The sky was clear, clouds lingered. Kinemia Leon denied TCH. Cashin Lo could not believe it. His face flushed with happiness and excitement. You received an invitation to participate in the debutante ball. Everyone will like the fairy. He did not spare his words of praise. Why worry? You are cute. She was shy and flustered. Thank you. Kinemia Leon worried. Maybe it is because I have never made friends with people my age. Cashin Lo was stunned and hesitated. But if it is a friend of the same age then? He exclaimed as if waking her up. There is Ian, is not there? Kinemia Leon stared blankly in shock. She lowered her head and pondered, muttering, oh yeah, that is right, it is him. Shen Tian nudged his shoulder in confusion. Hey, that matter. Cashin Lo was stunned, giving up, saying ah. Kinemia Leon clenched her hands, worrying to herself, that is right. She smiled gently like the setting sun. It is all in the past. Kinemia Leon made an excuse to sneak away. I am going back to the office. There are some things I forgot to do. He approved, go. She turned away. Shen Tian nudged his shoulder, scolding this stupid idiot. He was humble and did not resist. In the middle of the hallway, warm sunlight shone in. Kinemia Leon walked while thinking. Compared to such an invitation, she remembered Ian Krotz smiling gently, secretly hoping I would rather receive a letter from Ian. To Ian. Hello Ian, the weather has gotten warmer lately. Is everything okay at the magic tower? Kinemia Leon was diligently writing a heartfelt letter. Recently I read a book. It said that the mages at the magic tower use magic to fly around. How curious. Let me know if that is true. The Grand Duchy is still the same these days. Nothing special, however. It is a little empty without you here. She smiled expectantly. I hope you can visit me this time. At the Grand Castle, the trees were covered in autumn colors. Kinemia Leon gave the letter to the steward with a bright smile. She checked the other letters. Kinemia Leon held many letters in her hand, smiling happily. She pondered while composing a heartfelt letter. Hello Ian, I heard the Tower Master said that you are still doing well, although I am a little sad that I could not hear directly from you. But it is okay, I understand. Ian is a Rikasha, so he must be very busy, right? These days I have also been busy preparing for the opening of the new branch of Hymenwon, because this is the first branch. The Grand Duchy is filled with a festive atmosphere. Yesterday I baked and ate the cake that you like. If you visit next time I will make you a lot of baked goods if you want to eat, come here. Winter came, snow covered the castle. Kinemia Leon continuously wrote, it has been a long time, Ian, right? I am writing this letter because I want to ask how you are doing lately. Her face was sad. The Tower Master always says that you are fine. When you have time, please reply to me, even if it is just a short greeting. I am not sure if you will read this letter. Kinemia Leon's eyes were filled with disappointment, covered with a sad color. She carefully folded the letter. Kinemia Leon decisively threw it into the fireplace. The letter was gradually charred by the fire and disappeared. At Kinemia's room, pairs of shoes of all colors were arranged. Vanessa exclaimed, oh my god, the splendid jewelry made her admire. The brilliant ballroom dresses made her hesitate. What to do, miss? Kinemia Leon wore a pretty dress. Vanessa praised, this is also beautiful, pink suits you very well. She still listened silently to her murmuring next to her. But the yellow dress from earlier was more beautiful, right? If you want to really stand out, it is better to wear something more flashy. Right. Vanessa happily came to her side and said, because this is the first time the miss will be making her public debut. Kinemia lowered her head and replied sadly, There is no need to be so flashy, Vanessa. My goal in attending this debutante ball is to be as inconspicuous as possible. She thought to herself, it is better to attract less attention. Do you have any outfits to disguise as trees or furniture? Vanessa wondered. How can the person be so dispirited? Have you practiced dancing fluently yet? Vanessa probed. She replied, I have. She remembered the teachings when she was learning to dance. Miss, you must choose a dance partner carefully. To dance with you they must at least have appearance, intelligence, title, assets. This time you must choose the most perfect gentleman from their speech, lineage, appearance, the dance instructor, Baron Romeo. Then she added, although I stepped on Romeo's feet about 5 times. Vanessa happily congratulated. Oh my God, that is great. At first, you stepped on his feet more than 20 times, she sighed dejectedly. Humph. Vanessa spoke up, by the way, this year is a little different. Kinemia wondered, how so? She replied, normally, the debutante ball would be hosted by the ladies, but this year the Duke will be the one hosting. It seems that his wife is still in the process of recovery. She inquired, why does she need to recover? Vanessa replied, Duke Roslin's wife has a chronic illness. It is said that Duke Roslin supports the cult also because of this matter. What a devoted husband, is not he? She rested her chin on her hand, thinking, so that is it, the Duchess of Roslin has a chronic illness. As if remembering something, wait a minute, I thought they invited me just to embarrass me. She thought of the pharmacy, but could it be because he is interested in Hyman? Every year, he donates a large sum of money to the church in the hopes of curing his wife's illness, but there has been no progress. The image of the man chatting with the pastor. He researches in the room, searching for other ways to cure the disease. He read the newspaper in his hand eagerly. The content on the newspaper talked about Hyman is developing a mysterious medicine that can cure the Red Scourge. Hyman operates in the Grand Duchy of Leon. The Emperor personally praised Hyman and Duchess Leon, the owner of this place. Kinemia reasoned, thanks to the Red Scourge cure, Hyman quickly became famous in the Empire. If he is interested, then I can understand why the cult has been working so hard to control Hyman. She pondered, of course these are just my speculations, but I still feel. She remembered Shen Tian saying, those people do not understand you. Then she reflected, just like me, because I have never met Duke Roslin directly. I can't know what kind of person he is. He looked at her gently, saying, even if they are prejudiced against you, then just show your sincerity. She remembered those words. Transition to the hall. Inside, the musicians were playing the violin. The party guests wore gorgeous dresses. The young lady's eyes noticed a certain young man. He smiled and looked over. Above, the gossip sounded, oh my, it seems the young lady of Shirley has found a dance partner. Shirley held a glass of wine and said, and it seems the Duchess of Leon, who is said to be attending today, has not arrived yet. The people around wondered, the Duchess of Leon, is she the one famous for her excellent business acumen since she was young? She replied, that is right. Because of that toy called slime or something, my child really wants to meet her. The people around agreed, my child too. A parent spoke dejectedly, even though he is 17 years old, he still likes to play with that thing. Everyone standing around agreed, my child too, me too, me too. They continued to be curious. I am really curious what kind of person she is. I have never really seen her socialize with the community. It is terrible to say this, but according to the rumors, her appearance is extremely frightening. I heard that too. Is that why she has always been hiding? The gossip became more lively. In addition, they also say she is quite eccentric. It would not be strange to call her a demon. Oh my, how scary! Kinemia, radiant, walked in. Are those rumors true? The gatekeeper noticed her. He was stunned. The gossip still continued. No one has ever met the Duchess in person. It is all just rumors. They were still talking about her. Gee, is it really true or not? Kinemia stepped into the hall, the light shining brightly. Today we will find out. A voice rang out, causing everyone to turn and look. Allow me to introduce Duchess Kinemia Leon. Shirley widened her eyes, stunned. A sparkling purple ball gown. The party guests were surprised by her appearance. A white neck combined with a beautiful necklace. The other party attendees all stared at her with wide eyes. Kinemia's appearance was as beautiful as flowers. She glanced softly at the crowd. Kinemia stood at the door. All eyes were on her. A girl in a pink dress covered her mouth in surprise. Ah. The other nobles up high also had the same thoughts about her, so beautiful. Duke Roslin looked at her, thinking to himself, unexpected. A man wearing a white dress suit spoke. I can't believe the Duchess really came. All this time she has only been hanging around in her territory, so it must be difficult to find a dance partner. He smiled and sneered. Hopefully nothing embarrassing will happen. Duke Roslin glanced at him, thinking to himself, you pathetic fool. Looking at his arrogant appearance, he assessed further. He inherited the title of Marquis just because he is the eldest son. A guy who messes up everything he touches. What qualifications does he have to criticize the Duchess? He turned to Duke Roslin and asked, right? The response to him was a long silence. Feeling awkward about the situation just now, he put on a bright smile and said, I will go greet the other guests, excuse me for a moment. Duke Roslin did not even bother to look at him, just saying please do. He continued to observe the party with his wife. Looking at Kinemia at the party, Duke Roslin exclaimed, she looks exactly like her father. She replied, agreed. Then she continued, I originally had a good impression of the Duchess. She found out the real reason why we sent the invitation, and then quickly sent the divine medicine over. Right, that is why, although she is young, she has been known as a female businesswoman. He closed his eyes slightly, replying, there are still some things that need to be confirmed. Memories of her appeared. She spoke, don't be too harsh, darling. I understand that you still hold a grudge about Fairy's matter, but that is not the Duchess's fault. Duke Roslin continued to observe her, affirming, I will not let personal emotions affect my choice of business partners, however. I am simply curious to know how the Duchess will react now. At this moment she was looking towards somewhere. He thought to himself, I did not send a separate response about the divine medicine that the Duchess sent over by sending the medicine bottles over. It seems like she is a person who knows how to seize opportunities. In business it requires quick wit and courage. Duke Roslin looked forward to it a little, thinking, now then what will she do, the Duchess of Leon? The crowd saw her appearance and everyone buzzed. A girl whispered, she is really beautiful, completely the opposite of the rumors. Maybe she sent someone to impersonate her to avoid embarrassment. Another person said, no, that person is the Duchess for sure. They compared her and her father. She looks exactly like the previous Grand Duke Troy Leon. Shirley thought in her head, that elegant demeanor along with that calmness. She came to the conclusion, even though her reputation is no longer what it used to be, the aura of the head of the Grand Duchy of Leon, a great place with a long history, is still clear. Plus an admirer, she is really not an ordinary person. That is great, Duchess. In contrast to the calm appearance was an unstable person inside. She reassured herself, calm down, Kinemia Leon. It seems that things have become more difficult. Kinemia thought secretly, but the more she tried to calm down, the more anxious she became. What should I do to look natural in the ballroom? Looking at everything around her, she decided, I must find the least noticeable place to sit. A servant appeared next to him. Kinemia thought secretly, Duke Roslin. And next to him she was a little surprised. The Duchess. She was looking at the person next to her. She looked at the situation in front of her happily. Rushing up the stairs, Kinemia thought, great, it will probably succeed. Her sudden appearance made her exclaim in surprise, oh my. Looking at the person in front of her, she spoke, Duchess. Kinemia bowed, please allow me to express my respect to you, Duke Roslin. She continued, I am very grateful that you invited me to this meaningful event. He thought to himself, Duke Roslin looked at her actions and speculated, with all the attention of everyone focused here right now. She came over and greeted me first. Just one wrong word or action could cause the rumor to spread and become an indelible shame. The Duchess greeted, greetings, Wings of Leon. He wondered, is this just youthful confidence? She suddenly spoke, causing him to be surprised. The divine medicine from Hymenwan that I sent that day. How effective was it, sir? Kinemia looked at him expectantly. The people around were astonished at her words. Did Sir Roslin use the divine medicine from Hymenwan? They buzzed, but is not Hymenwan the opponent of the cult? How reckless, their relationship with the Roslin family is not good, so they do not seem like they would hear anything positive. Another woman spoke, but... She looked towards her and guessed, the Duchess, who had been separated for a while due to illness, was able to attend the party today. Duke Roslin reasoned, could it be thanks to Hymenwan's divine medicine? Is this her goal? While he was focusing on reasoning, Duke Roslin's wife also had curiosity, to me, the largest sponsor of the cult, and let everyone know that I have seen the effect when using that thing. Promote Hymenwan. She and her husband were both having thoughts. Giving the divine medicine of Hymenwan to me, a supporter of the cult, and then asking about my impression. Everyone there seemed very surprised, vague about what was being said. How bold. Kinemia Leon listened, her eyes drooped, a little sad and quiet. Not receiving a response, he posed some thoughts. This reaction, could it be a negative effect? The effect is excellent. Duke Rosalind's eyes were thinking about something that seemed very serious. I am quite pleased with Hyman Wan's divine medicine. Kinemia Leon flustered, her eyes lit up. The voice echoed from the palace. I am glad you like it. She confessed, I know that you have a close relationship with the cult, but I sent the medicine with a sincere hope that it would help the Duchess. Thank you for understanding. At the same time, hearing the word, he frowned curiously. Kinemia Leon expressed her wishes. I am still an inexperienced person, so I very much look forward to hearing a respected assessment from you. We are considering areas outside the Grand Duchy to open the next branch of Hyman Wan. Duke Rosalind frowned, analyzing that look. He replied, I thought that the Duchess was like her father, the previous Duke, but now I see that she is also very similar to her grandfather, Sir Kenneth. She remembered the image of her grandfather with a confused look. My grandfather, recollection, making enemies everywhere and then being poisoned. Kinemia Leon thought, I do not know if this is an insult or a compliment. Duke Rosalind continued, merchants always pursue profits with calculated thoughts, but sometimes in addition to that, you also need to have the skill to grasp people's hearts. Sir Kenneth has the ability to see through everyone's desires, and has the ability and determination to fulfill it. It seems that the Duchess has inherited his determined eyes. She was surprised and even stammered, I inherited from my grandfather. Duke Rosalind emphasized, although he was always successful in achieving his goals, but in the process he also made enemies with quite a few people. Before he finished speaking, his wife next to him took a long breath. Darling, why talk about that? What is the point? Kinemia Leon wondered curiously. Is this also an insult? Then she turned and took her hand, gently confessing, Duchess, please do not mind what my husband said. He is just trying to make things difficult. The Duchess Rosalind smiled with her eyes. She said words that were truly pleasing. It is an honor that you accepted the invitation. Thanks to the divine medicine that you sent, my health has improved significantly compared to a few weeks ago, so I really wanted to meet you in person to say thank you. I also hope that Hyman Wan will definitely be established in our duchy. Right, darling, her words made Kinemia Leon even more surprised. He agreed with his wife's opinion and added, I am very much looking forward to that, Duchess. She did not respond immediately but thought to herself, so, the next branch of Hyman Wan will be opened in the Duchy of Roslin. My goal today has been a complete success. But should not the Duchess also enjoy the debutante ball? The question was posed to Kinemia Leon. She looked at the Duchess of Roslin and replied shyly, that matter in reality, my purpose today is not this party. She tried to persuade, but you still can't waste the opportunity to participate in a rare debutante ball. And then the Duchess of Roslin covered her mouth shyly. Seems that many people want to dance with the Duchess. As soon as she finished speaking, a figure appeared, causing Kinemia Leon to freeze. Looking at the person who appeared before her holding a glass of wine and approaching her, she spoke internally, that person. Baron Romeo is the person who taught me how to dance. A handsome face, a huge fortune, a prestigious title and a muscular body. Let us raise a glass. He is exactly the image of an ideal man. Kinemia Leon turned her head towards the back, even. A group of girls stood outside. When they saw Baron Romeo appear, they could not control themselves. Those girls secretly looked at him with longing and admiration. There were also dozens of people lined up hoping to become a partner. It is best not to get involved in a love triangle, otherwise my ending will be like my father, having to escape from a crowded place. Those were her thoughts. After thinking for a long time, Kinemia Leon finally spoke. Duchess, please excuse me, I want to go out to the garden to get some fresh air. She replied, the garden is still under renovation, so the facilities are still not working properly. Especially the areas far from the castle are quite messy. She accepted the mess so that she could leave this crowded place. It is okay, just for a moment. The girls were still taking turns lurking outside the door, listening to the conversation between them. Then, please be careful and do not get too close to the areas under construction. That place is old and dangerous. Thank you, Duchess. Kinemia Leon thought to herself. There is no place more dangerous than here now. Outside it was raining heavily. Inside that dome. She sat down looking at the eaves of the dome. Humph, it seems like the rain has splashed in. It was raining heavily. Kinemia Leon did not bring a cloak. She stood with her arms crossed. Cold, why did it suddenly rain? I found a deserted place and it seems to be quite far away. Kinemia Leon observed everything around her and said, besides, like the Duchess said, the atmosphere is really chaotic. My dress. While she was thinking to herself, I should probably just stay inside here. In the distance, there were a boy and a girl. It seemed that they were a couple happily laughing with each other. Kinemia Leon looked at them with admiring eyes. She looked at them while speaking internally. They look so happy. Maybe I will never have such love in my life. Kinemia Leon was sad. I should go back to the Duke's castle now. Even though the dress is a little wet, it does not matter because I am about to leave. She decided to return, even though it was still raining heavily. Kinemia Leon looked at something in surprise. My dress. Her dress was stuck between the pillars. Kinemia Leon tried to pull the dress out while lamenting. Nothing good is happening. She kept pulling but the dress still would not come out. She was annoyed. Why won't it come out? It seemed that something had attracted Kinemia Leon's gaze, causing her to turn around curiously. The ceiling. Kinemia Leon thought in surprise and fear. It seems like it is about to collapse. Then she shouted, "Help, someone save me." There is no one around here at all. It seemed that this place was too deserted, so no one could hear Kinemia Leon's cry for help. She closed her eyes, fearing and pleading for everyone, "Please, someone save me." With self-preservation instincts, Kinemia Leon used her hands to shield herself. She revealed a disappointed look with an unspeakable mess. From above, the glass had shattered. The fragments of glass were floating. Kinemia Leo was extremely worried. How can it be I? Wait, the person who can do these things, such a person, do not tell me. Kinemia seemed to have predicted it. She turned her head back. Don't tell me. Outside the dome, the rain was pouring, looking at the fragments of broken glass floating in the air. Kinemia stood still, her eyes distant. In the distance, there was a looming figure of a tall man. Her eyes flickered slightly, a hint of surprise flashed. Looking closely, it was the familiar face of her bodyguard, Ian. Ian slowly stepped into the rain. Around him, there were sparkling, winding magic currents. He waved his hand and used magic. The fragments of glass around Kinemia seemed to understand and dispersed, opening a path for him to come to her side. He stopped in front of Kinemia. Ian spoke first. "Mia, do you remember?" "Yes, I remember." Hearing her answer, Ian's face flushed slightly. He reached out his hand and then paused when he saw the magic power leaking out of his glove. Ian did not hesitate and burned it to ashes, allowing his bare hand to freely touch Kinemia's hair lightly. "Mia, you have not changed at all. Still as beautiful as ever." His eyes clearly showed the infatuation he had for her. Immediately afterwards, Ian could not restrain himself and hugged Kinemia tightly. She asked him softly, "Are you really Ian?" He did not answer, only whispering her name, "Mia. Missed you." Ian's words made her feel shocked. Immediately in that moment, many questions arose in her head for him. "You have not contacted me at all in the past 5 years, but now you say you missed me. What exactly are you doing? Why can you appear at such a moment? Have you been observing me all this time? Since when?" Ian was still immersed in his emotions. "I have always missed you, really, I really missed you so much." Kinemia became even more confused after listening. "If you could come like this, then why did not you ever reply to my letters?" She pushed him away, causing Ian to be a little stunned. "Mia," he called her softly. Kinemia only lowered her head. She replied lightly, "I am leaving." Returning to the Great Hall. "Oh my, who is that gentleman? I do not know, I have never seen him before." The ladies buzzed when they saw the man who had just entered. A boy seemed to have recognized the identity of that person. "Oh, I'm going crazy. No, why is a Rikasha here?" Another person chimed in. "Rikasha, do you mean a candidate for the next Magic Tower Master? Why is such an important figure here?" Ian walked slowly behind Kinemia from the moment he entered the Great Hall. But for some reason, it seems that he is only following the Duchess, not caring about the surrounding gossip. Ian obediently only followed her. What happened between them? But the murmur of the gossip became clearer and clearer, causing Kinemia to frown uncomfortably on her face. She turned her head, looking at Ian's dazed appearance, and secretly blamed. "Really, why are you following me with that gloomy look? Everyone is looking. It looks like a puppy who caused trouble. Is waiting to be scolded." Not looking like he was waiting to dance, Kinemia went to the Duchess. "Rosalind, Duchess. Perhaps I should return to the Grand Duchy now. It was an honor to talk to you today." She replied gracefully, "Me too, Duchess, but..." The Duchess leaned over and whispered teasingly in Kinemia's ear, "I noticed that you did not care about anyone else. Is it because you already have someone in your heart?" Kinemia shyly denied, "No, it is not like that." She smiled playfully. "Aha, I completely understand, it is youth." As Kinemia was about to leave, the Duchess's voice rang out, calling after her. "Oh, it is time to dance. Why do not you stay and dance one dance with that handsome Rikasha before leaving?" Looking over there, she curiously turned to look. It seems that Sir Rikasha also wants that very much. Ian was only standing quietly in a corner, but he also attracted the gaze of those around him. His face showed a hint of embarrassment, but also clearly expressed an attitude that did not seem like he was waiting to dance. Duchess Rosalind did not miss the opportunity. She tried hard to signal to Ian. He caught her signal, somewhat stunned. But then Ian also decided to put his hand out in front of Kinemia. He knelt down and said sincerely, "Allow me the honor of inviting you to dance one dance, Duchess." Kinemia was forced into a dilemma. What should I do? I really do not want to dance with Ian at all right now. She hesitated before the expectant eyes of Duchess Rosalind and the other young ladies. Kinemia found it difficult, thinking secretly, "How can I refuse? I do not want to make enemies." But in the end she still agreed, very willing. In the spacious hall, under the sparkling crystal lights, the couples were lined up neatly, ready for the dance performance. They all bowed to each other, following the formal and graceful classic ritual. Kinemia also gently placed her hand in Ian's hand. The sound of the violin rose, reverberating with melodious tunes that seemed to slide through the soul. The couples began to spin, the skirts flying up with each step. Each footstep blended into the rhythm like a vivid ribbon stretching across the dance floor. Kinemia and Ian also stepped into the vortex of the dance, according to the calling of the music. But throughout the whole dance, Kinemia only lowered her head, as if avoiding him. Ian finally could not stand it and opened his mouth to speak. "Mia, have you been well lately?" She asked him back. "Do you really want to know?" Kinemia's cold words made the surprise in Ian's eyes undisguised. She recounted, "What a joke, no reply, not contacting me even once." Her voice became trembling. Kinemia finally could not hold back and let tears well up in the corners of her eyes. "I was very disappointed.